Happy Sunday!
Happy Sunday!
Hello, and welcome, whether you are new or returning. Welcome to the office, welcome to Dungeon Manager, and welcome to the finale of our three-part Icewind Dale campaign, coinciding with Wizards of the Coast's latest release, Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. It's releasing in stores and digitally on the 15th of September. Do check it out. We've popped a link below. It's in stores, it's available digitally. We're not even being paid to talk about it. We just love it that much. It's great, and it's been so much fun playing through this particular setting in this book, and we've only really scratched the surface of it. So do check it out. It's fantastic. The team behind it are wonderful, and you absolutely will not regret it. And additionally, our homebrew species for this mini campaign, the Usuri bear folk, are available on Patreon with both forest and Arctic ancestry open to you. You can check it out at the link below. And speaking of which, speaking of Patreon, we have a couple of thanks. So first of all, as ever, our assistant dungeon managers on Patreon, Graham Muir and Rory O'Sullivan, thank you so much for your continued support. And we have a new patron. Thank you to the wonderfully named Tom Serpico. Todd Serpico rather. You've given me an excuse to say Serpico a lot today, and I thank you for that. And thank you as well to Jordan Dean and the fine folks over at Fishbowl Films for our wonderful introduction, and to our composer, we can call him that, our composer, Peter Flint, for our amazing soundtrack, and frankly, too epic for its own good theme tune. We love you so much. And of course, a very final thank you to Esther Letts, our character artist who has defined the look and feel of this campaign. We cannot thank you enough. If you want to support her, you can do so. She's on Instagram at Rocket Bubble. And not only is she an incredible artist, but in addition to that, all of the payments that she is taking are donations to Black Lives Matter charities and causes. So not only will you be supporting wonderful artist, but you will also be supporting a very worthy and very important cause. So check her out at the link below. And of course, finally, third week in a row, thank you so much to Wizards of the Coast for allowing us to play in your sandbox. It has been a delight, and we can't wait to do it again very soon. But if you would like to support us, you can do. You can catch up on season 1 of our main campaign on YouTube. It's all there in a very handy playlist. You can tune in when season 2 premieres in a mere couple of weeks, so look out for that. You can expect notifications on Twitter, on Instagram, which segues neatly into saying that you can follow those if you so wish. And our campaigns and our one-shots are also available in podcast form on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, in addition to anything else like subscribe, share, review, click the bell icon on this video for notifications of new content. All of it helps us out immensely. I think that's everything. So for the final time, let's step out of the office as we venture once more into the icy tundras of Icewind Dale, across the tundra of terrors. Previously on Dungeon Manager. Having travelled to Elmblut Observatory at the behest of Esther Blutfist, hoping to discover the fates of her missing research team in the wake of an earthquake, you were instead met with only corpses and ice, and worse still, a creature. A creature seemingly formed of the very bodies left behind, human and canine alike. After a swift struggle in which Rianvi discovered its vulnerability to fire, you all settled down for the night, barricading yourselves in the research lab. Here, Paige discovered where the rest of the research team had headed, to the nearby mountain of Angstrom Peak, led by a local guide. Heading out the next day, though not before Gaia had taken some of the lenses from the observatory. Led by Ognan, on your way you discovered a naked, frozen corpse carrying shards of black glass and a single sending stone. Continuing up the mountain, it was not long before you encountered more strange creatures that, with the assistance of a group of strangers, you were able to scare off with your torches. Among these strangers, Carlos Elmtresser, Esther's research partner, and a figure from Ognan's past, a former student, a young monk called Harry. Retreating to a cave before the deep frost of midnight, Carlos told you that their research team had split. 5 had continued up the mountain with explosives, clearing a path to its peak, while the others waited for a signal down below. For they believe that the epicenter of both their research and the earthquake resides at the mountain's top, a belief solidified by a golden band they carry with them. Found on Gaia's person when they were brought up from under the ice, ever since the earthquake, the band has been humming, increasing in intensity the closer it gets to the mountain's top. They do not understand the connection, but it cannot be coincidence. Additionally, Carlos identified the corpse you found as Silas, the researcher responsible for the creation of lenses at the observatory, and told you that their last interaction was not a pleasant one. It was an argument over the black lens, which Carlos admits to having been responsible for smashing in his anger. After a tense exchange between Ognan and Harry, specifically over Gaia's presence in the cave, you all went to sleep. Gaia conversing with Carlos a little longer about what might be found at the mountain's peak. You managed to convince him that perhaps the Golden Band might be better in your hands, both for the mission and to help with your missing memories. And as Carlos headed outside to receive his team's signal from on high, suddenly, as you focused on the band around your wrist, everything came flooding back to you. Gaia. There is an almighty boom, a blinding light and a crash. The ship creaks and it rattles all around you as the screams of the bound fire elemental in its brass engines fill the room. The quarters you are in on board the vessel are shaking. Papers and vials are falling to the ground and smashing on the wooden floorboards, and the ship is picking up speed and it is descending fast. This was not measured in your calculations. When you took off from Shard, the city of towers on your mission, you were still in Eberron, looking through the wide windows that line this deck. That is no longer the case. What are you doing?
Guy would look around and see if there's. Do you say it is plummeting?
It is currently plummeting. It is moving very fast.
I look for my master.
You look around the room, and as you do so, you can see the paperwork and the research scattered around, flying around the room as gravity itself seems to defy what is happening presently, as whirlwinds spread and as glass flies and tumbles. There is no sign of your master. Until suddenly, from the door through which you had entered the room previously, a figure runs in, tall half-elf, thinning black hair over a pale scalp and pointed ears. He's wearing a long red robe and they are draped over his body. Flying behind him, and he turns to you with bright green eyes, shutting the door behind him. Gaia, help me with the door!
Gaia runs over and starts bracing the door.
What is happening?
The crew are mutinying. Tell me, Gaia, what's happening with the ship? Why are we crashing?
I do not know. There seems to be some miscalculation. I do not know why. My calculations were near perfect.
As you are talking, he is grabbing boxes and crates and he is bringing them over to the door as you hold it in place and pushes them forward. The crew, they are spies from the other houses seeking to claim our research. I would have wagered that they were going to wait longer before striking, but seeing as we are falling out of the sky, their plans have clearly accelerated. Quick, help me with the crates.
You knew this was going to happen?
I had no idea. I had no idea that we were full of traitors. I do not even believe that we are still in Eberron now.
The guy helps with the boxes and breaks in the door again.
As you do so, he pulls out a sword from his side. The hilt is gold, and its blade is silvered. I do not believe that we are going to survive this crash. But you, while I hold them off, if I don't make it, you must continue with our research, Gaia. Here, and he takes from his wrist a golden band, and he places it in your hand. Take this. I have attuned the energy to what we have been seeking, that which likely drew us to this plane of existence. Follow the band. God's willing, if I survive this, I will find my own way to the strange energy.
You
Meet
must.
me there. This is our mission, Gaia. God's willing, I will. And he closes your hand over it as he braces against the door and he holds the sword. This energy, Gaia, what do you believe it is?
It is very powerful. I think, in all honesty, it could be just as dangerous as curious as it is. I do not know exactly what it is.
Well, I believe in the wrong hands it could be a weapon. And if that is the case, we must get there before anyone else. It cannot fall into the wrong hands, or else cities, even species, perhaps worlds could fall. Whatever you do, recover what we are looking for. By any means necessary.
What if I am intercepted?
Then you must deal with whoever is after it.
At any cost.
At any cost. And at this point, the door begins to slam, and you see it slowly start to open, and you can see the grey uniformed crew beyond slamming against. Come on, Vietnam! Come out of there! And Vietnam turns towards you. Go, Gaia! And with a shove, he pushes you towards the window, and there is a crash. You tumble out of the airship, plummeting for what seems like mere seconds. But in those seconds, you register everything around you. The snowy horizon below you, the setting sun in the distance, even the alien particles in the air, and above you, the airship, flying, descending and shooting onwards, smoke trailing behind it, towards a mountain in the distance. And as you fall almost nonchalantly, you calculate that at its current velocity, it will reach the mountain's peak and crash in 2 minutes and 31.4 seconds. There's a crash as you hit the ice, and your circuits immediately seize up as you sink through the freezing water, sink all the way to the bottom of the water's depths. And there you stay. There you stay, and there you wait for 200 years, though you do not comprehend this. You hibernate. Your functions stymied in this unfamiliar cold, and over the course of decades, you begin to forget how you got there. You forget all about your master and his fear, his failure, his all too organic weakness. Until finally, there is a light. Finally, you wake. And there is a voice. Hello? My name is Esther Bloodfist. What is your name?
I am Gaia. Where am I?
You are safe. What was that? And you look up, and Carlos stands in front of you, coming in from the cold and into the cave. What was that you said?
I am thinking out loud. My apologies.
No apologies needed, my friend. We received our signal from the mountain's top. The other members of our team are still up there, waiting. Did you see anything on watch?
Nothing. It was calm. Very uneventful.
Good. Anything from the band?
Nothing more than the vibrations we first felt. But hopefully something should come back to me soon. I hope.
Good. Well, in that case, we'll move off in the morning. Good night, Gaia.
Good night.
And with that, he goes and wakes the next watch. And for expediency's sake, that following morning, you all wake. You wake to the darkness outside, and the cold and the blizzard. It is seemingly impossible, but this high up the mountain, it appears even colder. Is there anything anyone wants to do before they set off?
Not from Gaia. Gaia is just standing by and waiting for everyone to get ready.
Okay. Anyone else at all?
Nope. I want to get up that mountain.
Well, you set off early. The other members of the research team, instructed by Carlos, start to put the barrels of explosive powder onto the dog sled. And as the dogs are harnessed up to the sled, once again, as they pass you, Paige, they growl at you. Dogs do not seem to be your friends in this place, but walking past, they growl at you. And the team sort of go, come on, off you go, out there. And Carlos sort of says, apologies for them. They're a little effusive in their duties.
It happens a lot, it's fine.
Well, not often they see a more feline individual, but dogs will be dogs, eh?
Yeah. And tabaxi will be tabaxi.
I have no doubt of that. Right, let us go. And as you set off, with Carlos reminding everyone that it is due to be a 2-day trek up to the peak, Harry turns to you, Ognan. Are you good to go at the front with me?
Always.
Okay. What about the creature from the ice? Will they be up front too, with that band?
I imagine so. Is that a problem?
I'll go ahead. You stay with your group. And with that, she heads off.
Just as she's walking up, like, don't let them blow anything up.
I won't. As far as I'm concerned, we might need it ourselves. And she heads off. So, as you climb, over the next day, it is as treacherous as it is cold. The path is relatively clear, and you can see at various intervals there are blackened areas where splintered chunks of rock lie scattered, carving out a clear path. And Ognan, you recognize the signs of explosives. And despite the danger of setting off explosives this high in a mountain, it appears to have no ill effect outside of creating this path for all of you. And Paige, as you walk, you make a note of the surrounding area too. Specifically, you take interest in the fauna and the wildlife. And as you all trek, led by Harry, Ognan, and Gaia and Carlos, all bunched together disparately at the front, you see strange creatures walking around. You see a few moose with eyes that stretch from their face all the way up their antlers and around, and their fur ending in clinking icicles. You see packs of wolves, and the dogs at this keep a wide berth. And these wolves, instead of fur, have green pine needles. And at one point, Paige, as everyone is walking and you are making frenzied notes at all of this, you see what looks to be a saltwater salmon with the legs of a spider suspending it above the snow, and it walks forward, stalking the wastes. And as it sees you, it skitters away, seemingly scared of all of you. As you're walking, is there anything that anyone wants to do on the climb before night, this eternal night, falls?
Yeah, I would like to keep note of the surroundings and sort of the path leading up.
Okay. Make a general survival check in that case.
6.
6. You are wrestling with a lot of new memories. And as such, focusing on what is quote-unquote real is quite difficult. You are simply following a path led by Ognan and Harry and Carlos at your side, and the ever-growing thrum of the band around your hand. But outside of that, you are remembering. And you know that wherever you are headed, it is where your ship was due to crash. Lana, as you are walking, sort of lost in thought, there is a voice from in front of you. Do you mind if I walk with you a moment?
Be my guest.
I believe that the Asuri has things well in hand. Tell me, where do you come from?
Now nowhere specifically, but originally around the other Dales, not the Icewind ones.
So, Cormyr.
Yes, thereabouts.
That is interesting.
Have you been before?
I have not. But, our patron responsible for our observatory came from around there. He visited once or twice, in fact, when we set up the observatory and after that, but I have to say, my reason for asking is, I was wondering if you knew him.
It's quite a large place. Where exactly was this person from?
Well, truth be told, he never told us where. But the reason why I ask, he carried a blade very similar to the one you have by your side.
That's interesting. Did he ever say where he got it from?
Well, he told me when we were opening the observatory, cutting the ribbon, so to speak. He was wearing his finery and that sword that looks so very similar to your own, but he told me it was found in Icewind Dale by one of his ancestors over a century ago, while looking for treasure beneath the ice in what used to be a great lake in the region. Do you know where that lake was?
I'm not sure why I would.
At the base of this very mountain. Isn't that a strange coincidence?
I'm sure there are lots of swords in the world.
I'm sure there are. You know, he spoke only once of family. Specifically a daughter. raven hair, a white streak. Another funny coincidence, wouldn't you say?
Very strange.
Well, I'll leave you to it. And it continues on, rejoining Gaia up front. And as he does so, you look to the side, and you see that walking next to you, leaving no footprints in the snow, the shadowy figure with the moustache and the gaping chest wound walks beside you. So, unless there's anything that anyone wants to do before nightfall.
I just keep a perception check, just to see if there's anything more threatening than the wolves about.
Absolutely. Make a perception check.
Typical of me, 6.
There appears to be nothing around. You see the wildlife, and the blizzard and the wind is quite oppressive in this area, particularly, especially as you get nearer to the mountain's peak, which is no surprise. But outside of that, nothing. You find yourself looking at Harry, who continues on ahead, and you note that her skills in the intervening years have improved vastly, but you do see the echoes of your training there as she continues forging ahead. She has become quite an impressive tracker. And after a full day of travel, you once again, between you all, find a cave, smaller than the last, but nevertheless large enough for each of you to hunker down for the night. And as you go in and a fire is made, you feel a strange ringing in the air, and you swear that you can hear words, voices, thoughts. And Paige, as you sit near one of the rock walls, you sense that the rocks themselves are giving off this strange ringing. It is high-pitched, and it reverberates in your very sensitive ears, and it is confusing and strange. And while eventually you're able to sort of tune it out, that ever-present drone nevertheless continues. And you notice that it is affecting the dogs. They are restless. And once again, the research team provide a small pen for them behind the barrels of powder. But the dogs pace up and down, nevertheless. Is there anything that anyone is wanting to do before they go to sleep?
I mean, I'm interested what a salmon spider tastes like. It's more a me thing than a Paige thing.
Okay. I mean,
So I don't think I'm going to
There's
hunt one
some
down.
overlap there from your other character, I think.
Yes, I'm just like...
Describe the fantasy taste, Ed.
I mean, retroactively, if you would like to catch or have assistance catching a salmon spider, you are more than welcome.
I
Not-
think Gaia
I
would
think-
help Paige if she wanted to.
I was going to say it makes more sense to do it on the way down, but I feel like we've already made the narrative, so I feel like we should follow. I would like to attempt to catch a salmon spider with Gaia's help, please.
Okay, make a survival check at advantage then.
Oh, thank you. My survival is not great. Is that a roll?
Is your animal handling better?
No, they're both not great.
Just coax out the salmon spider.
The first one was a natural 1.
Oh.
The second one is an 11.
11, okay. They are quite fast creatures. I mean,
All the legs.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as you approach one, it's sort of looks at you and immediately turns and fires what looks to be webbing at you. It is strange, and there are flecks of scale in there as well. It's very, very odd, but this sort of gets in your ears and your eyes, and for a moment you nearly fall behind the group, and it takes Ognan noticing this and beckoning you to continue and sort of begrudgingly staying behind to allow you to continue. But the second one, while you're not able to catch it, you are able to grab one of its legs, and as it runs away, it actually comes off in your hand, and you have a very large spider leg in your hand. So as you sit near campfire, as the orangey glow fills the cavern, do you want to do anything with this spider leg?
Sure.
This is very cat-like behaviour. I'm impressed.
Yeah, true. I suppose in a way I'm like playing with my food. It's all.
Yeah, but it's a fish and a spider, both of which cats eat.
Yeah.
I do indeed. I think I'm really coming. You see, I don't have any electricity spells because that's what I'll be interested in.
What, make it twitch?
Yeah.
Also, Ed, do these fish have gills?
They seemed to, yes.
Whoa. How do they breathe?
As with many things in this particular area of Icewind Dale, you've seen a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense.
What if every leg had a mouth?
No.
Oh
I'm
no.
just like a side mouth.
Yeah.
You have to make them worse.
I think I would take notes on. I would probably use the leg to distract myself from the ringing.
Okay.
By taking some notes, drawing some pictures. What does it smell like?
It's very salty, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
But there is a strange sort of smoky aroma to it as well.
Okay. I would also like to lick it.
Okay. Make a constitution save for me, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, lick that smoked spider salmon.
Yum.
This is the bit where the campaign goes, that was a natural 20. What a waste!
It's
Oh my
just
God.
so on point.
As you lick the spider leg, your barbed tongue sort of tracing up its very, very coarse leg.
Slightly sexual.
It is.
No.
It is very. It is a very odd sensation, and the taste that fills your mouth is one that is incredibly acrid, and you have eaten your fair share of fish, and there are definitely traces there, but there is something else in it, and I would even go so far as to say that there is something familiar in the taste.
I would like to take copious notes about this culinary experience I
Okay.
have gone on. Because with my dogs, if they eat spiders, they sort of go, they get it in their mouth and they're like, I don't even have a taste. Like, why did you eat it in the first place? Oh my god.
As Paige makes notes in the corner of the cave, the smacking of her mouth as she just sits in the corner again reverberates around as you all sit. And Ognan, as you sit there, Harry comes and sits next to you, her red hair cascading down her shoulders. You've not missed a beat, old man.
Less of the old, thank you.
Sorry. So, you still going by just Master, or...?
I'm allowed to call myself it. You're not.
Fair enough.
So how'd you lose it? The arm.
I was overconfident.
Makes a change.
Well, without someone to watch my back. But I was jumped in the night by a creature. This was before the everlasting night, but I was looking around the region. This was before I met the research team, and it was neither bear, nor lizard, nor bird, but it set upon me and I had to run. And for that I lost my depth perception. So, and she reaches out and her hand boops you on the nose and she's like, I have no idea how close you're sitting right now.
Well, you just booped me on the nose, so
Yeah.
do. Don't do
No.
that again.
Okay.
It's uncomfortable.
She sits there for a moment looking into the fire and says, I think, look, I'm sorry for yesterday.
It's not what you have to apologize for. Your anger is with me, not with them. Keep it with me. We may not trust them. They may do wrong. That doesn't give us the right to be cruel. I thought I taught you better than that, Harriet.
You did. I'm sorry, old master. And she bows her head.
Don't make me full name you again.
I wouldn't dare.
Damn right.
She looks over to the rest of the group and your charges, they seem like good people.
We're alright.
And the one you travel with, this Gaia, and she catches herself before she proceeds. They seem to be a useful addition to the group.
Not really seen much of any of them in a fight so far. They've got a little bit more firepower than the usual lot.
That's useful.
And dangerous.
Maybe. But if there's one thing I've learned being in these mountains, it's that fire usually does the trick with these creatures.
Good thing that my fists light on fire then, isn't it?
We could give it a go.
Not my discipline, unfortunately.
Well, we've got torches. The researchers seem to think it's something to do with the landscape. These creatures, all of the wildlife here seem to take on properties of things around them, so when they come into contact with a flame, all but burn away. So if we're going to be seeing more along the way, and she takes some more torches out of her pack and places them between you, your group will need more of these.
If they want to burn them. Seems
What makes-
keen to study them.
Well, like I say, this team are a means to an end for me.
I think whatever we've been waiting for is at the top of that mountain.
I agree.
I'm just not sure everybody here understands what that is.
I don't know if we do.
I'd rather not have a bunch of scientists running around trying to take notes whilst it kills them, though.
No. Look, I still don't know if I trust Gaia, but they have been useful, and they seem to care for that page girl.
And I lower my voice further and go, I don't trust them either.
Let's keep an eye. And
You didn't mean to make that pun.
she smiles. No, I'll leave the dad jokes to you.
Quite right, too.
So, who wants to take watch? And is there any particular order anyone wants to do so?
I'll take the last one.
Last one? Okay.
I'll take the first one.
Okay. Carlos once again volunteers for the second one and says, I'll need to see if they signal from the top of the mountain again. I can sit up with Geyer.
Can I take Lana aside for a second? He says that.
Yeah, of course.
Lana, would you mind keeping an eye on Carlos and Gaia?
Absolutely. What am I looking for?
I just don't like the fact that they're working together and we're all asleep.
Yeah. Got a funny feeling about Carlos anyway. Be happy to.
Appreciated.
Okay. So, Rhianvi on first watch. Okay. So, as everyone beds down for the night, and you sit there as close to the campfire as you can, you watch as the frost slowly starts to spread around the outside of the entrance. Can you make a perception check for me, please? Okay. You notice nothing. It is quiet outside. But as you sit in the cave, you hear a strange, repetitive echo, like a scratch. And as you look around at the research team and the group you find yourself with, you see, over in the corner, near to where the dogs are, Carlos, asleep in furs and sleeping bag. But you see that over the top of this, his left hand, ungloved, scratches his right, which is still covered. And this continues for the duration of your watch, almost absent-mindedly on his part.
Left hand scratches his right, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just sneak over to him and just kind of observe for a little?
Yeah, of course. As you do so, he is asleep, and he is just scratching away.
Is it bleeding?
Not as far as you can see. He is scratching the outside of his gloved hand.
Okay.
But outside of that, nothing. And as you return to the campfire, you feel the hand on your shoulder yet again. Only one day, and we're there.
What am I going to find there?
I don't know. But whatever it is what we're looking for. Will you be ready to do what is necessary?
I don't know, but it's not really up to whether or not I'm ready, is it?
No. And the hand lifts. You're right about that. Your watch comes to an end. Do you go and wake Carlos?
Yes.
Okay. You do so. And Lana, what are you doing?
Well, if possible, waking up without being woken, to be able to keep an eye from, but, stealthily.
Okay. So I would say make a stealth check for me, please.
Oh no, my character sheet's gone. Hang on. Chaos.
It's fine. This was me last week.
16.
16. You're able to stay still and watch from the periphery of your vision as Carlos sits next to the campfire across from Gaia, who still hums steadily, accompanied almost in harmony by the ringing off the rocks that accompanies. Carlos sits in silence, looking at the automaton, before, after a certain amount of time, he stands and he heads out the cave once the frost has lifted, saying to Gaia, "I'll be back in a moment. I'll just check for a signal from the others." And he heads on out. Are you doing anything before he comes back?
Are you talking to me or Lana?
Either of you.
No, I'm being very stealthy and pretending to be asleep.
Okay.
Guy would like to look in his pack and see if the book was recovered with them in their pack. The tome.
You look in, and it was.
And there was something I was going to look for, but I think that is all for now.
Okay. So, Carlos comes back in. All safe up there. They should be ready for us tomorrow. Right. I'll go wake up the Usuri. Good night, Geyer.
Good night. Sleep well.
And Lana, you observe as Carlos walks over to the hulking and you notice twitching figure of Ognan. And Ognan, through dreams of darkness, talons, and of claws, you are shaken. Your turn. All clear on our end.
You have the signal.
Had the signal. They should be ready for us. All 5 of them.
Something's ready.
Okay. Well, I'll see you in the morning. So,
Just nod and go to the mouth of the cave.
okay.
If
you could-
From my pretend sleeping position with my eyes closed, I just go.
So, as you watch this, Ognan, and as you sit by the mouth of the cave, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Because it's dark and I don't have dark vision,
Mm-hmm.
am I okay to do a sniff check?
Absolutely, you are. Yes.
Oh, that's not much better. That's a 7.
7.
I'm so perceptive.
There are very few smells in Icewind Dale, and this is something that you have grown very accustomed to, especially in this everlasting rhyme of Auril the Frost Maiden. Everything is cold, everything is frost, everything is ice, and everything is wind, and catching scents is very, very difficult. You smell nothing out of the ordinary. And eventually, morning comes, and the night continues. And you all wake, and, unless there's anything anyone wants to do before they set off, you begin your final day of trekking up the mountain. And Lana, as you wake, you see that stood by the door, staring up at the peak of the mountain, the shadowy Echo stands there. And as you all make your way up for the rest of the day, Lana, for the first time in a very long time, this shadow never leaves. It continues up the mountain with you, an additional member of your party. And Paige, as you continue, once again, you have to evade the growling dogs, and you decide it's probably best that you stay as far away from them as possible, but they continue on with their explosive cargo, moving up the mountain, through the gaps in the ice and snow that have already been made by the team before. And you all climb. You climb and you climb for the majority of the day, until eventually you come to it. The peak of Angstrom. and coming over a snowy outcropping of rock, the peak of the mountain comes into view, dominating the skyline, and all around, the dark horizon of Icewind Dale stretches out before you, swathes of tundra and mountains in every direction, and in front of you, from out of the rocks atop the mountain, towering, opaque shards of black ice pierce the sky above you like great tidal waves of dark water frozen in place. They appear to be growing out of the mountain and into the sky. It is as though you stand on the outside of a monolithic, deathly still black whirlpool jutting out in every direction. But more alien still, even than this, shattered next to it against the ice and snow atop this mountain, hundreds of feet above Icewind Dale, you see what looks to be the remains of a large wooden galleon. Its giant hull is splintered beyond repair, its mast is broken, and its sails are tattered and frozen solid. And out from its body, you can see strange copper coils, huge in size, jutting out of the vehicle's sides, and snow covers the vessel. You have never seen its like. None of you, except for you, Gaia. You know this vehicle very, very well. It is what brought you to this plane of existence. And as you all look around, the ringing in your ears, it intensifies. And you look around and you see that all around the ship and all around this giant tower of ice, there are objects in the ice. You see chunks of mosaic flooring depicting winged horses, centaurs and satyrs. You see gold, jewels, weapons. You see at one point in amongst these an opaque dodecahedron with handles on either side. And you see other objects that you do not understand. You see the remains of what look to be some kind of vehicle, but is one you cannot make sense of. But Gaia, you see that it is the remains of a locomotive, similar to the lightning-powered rail trains of your world, but far beyond any technology you have seen before. All around the mountaintop, there are strange objects like these scattered around. But towering above them all is the ice and the airship. What are you all doing?
Guy starts to tentatively step forward as if seeing it for the first time.
Okay. Make a performance check for me.
God. Darn it. Performance. That is 9.
You step forward, and to the rest of you, while this sight is very new to all of you and you've never seen anything like it, you cannot help but notice that Gaia steps forward a little too quickly. But he is shortly followed by other members of the research team as Carlos steps around these ruins and these objects, looking around in wonder. And he picks various ones up, and you can see the other members of the crew also looking around. But as Gaia moves forward and the rest of them gather around, and the dogs stay still, where are all of you going? What are all of you looking at? And what are you doing?
Can I look around to see if there's any weapons that might look similar to my own?
Make a perception check for me.
No, where is it? Oh, it's there. 14.
14. Nothing as far as you can see littered around, but as you make your way over the peak and you see the ship off to one side, you do note that there is definitely a similarity in design on the carvings of the ship and the hilt of the sword, the very golden hilt of the sword that hangs by your side.
Can I just say to Gaia, having noticed that they stepped forward, something familiar?
Perhaps, but it can't be helped to notice that this doesn't look like it belongs in this landscape.
Neither do you.
Indeed. Hence my curiosity.
So, where is everyone going?
I am navigating around all of the clearly magical shit.
And Gaia, what do you...
Sort of, I think, remembering all the experiences before, sort of walking towards the galleon, I think. More specifically, sort of ambling around, not in a straight line, but sort of meandering about, looking at things, but heading towards the last place Gaia remembers being in before plummeting out of the galleon.
So, as you all make your way around, you see Gaia walking towards the ship. The very same ship, Lana, that has caught your attention also. And Gaia, you walk forward beneath its battered and broken hull. And looking all around, you see a number of different things. You see a number of perfectly preserved corpses, all of them wearing the same grey uniform. You see a gigantic brass sphere which looks to have housed something once, and you recognize this as being the fire elemental engine in which it was bound. You see papers on the floor. Papers detailing spikes of energy coming from beyond. The barriers of Eberron's reality becoming frayed. Something powerful coming from the space between. The potential for a weapon in this energy. And other houses spying on Vietnam and his recently acquired assistant, the Warforged called Gaia. But of course you know most of this already. After all, it was your hand that penned many of these notes. But walking forward, you see curled up in the corner of one of the airship's ruins, a figure, one very familiar to you. It is a corpse, frozen in place, thinning wisps of black hair atop a frozen head, a red robe curled tightly around the body, and his fingers are afflicted with frostbite, and his pale skin has turned blue from the cold. And yet he looks almost exactly the same as when you last saw him 200 years ago. And his right hand, in front of him, clutching the robe around him, is balled into a fist, and you can see there is something within it.
Gaia steps over to the figure and tries to open the hand.
The moment you start to pull them back, they snap and fall to the snow. You see paper inside, a small ball of paper.
Gaia would like to see if it is too frozen to open. If not, perhaps hold it to their body, or more importantly, put it in their psyche if it's too sort of sensitive to be able to be opened without cracking it, because I imagine it will be within ice.
It is very old, and looking at it, you can see that it will take some doing to uncrumple it, but certainly not impossible to do.
Guy would like to try and unfurl it.
Okay, make a dexterity check for me, please.
Because Guy is rolling so well today. It is 11.
11. Every so often, bits crumble off, but with your memory, especially with your functions almost flooding back, your photographic memory is able to make a note of those things that do fall off. And as you unfurl the majority of it, you see the following message. These are my final words. Turn back. I was a fool to follow this trail as far as I did. I came seeking power to help and assist. And ripped into an alien world I do not know, I instead found something monstrous. Something we cannot hope to understand. Something that's very arrival has splintered reality itself. All around the mountain's peak I see remnants of other worlds, some magical in nature and some mundane, presumably drawn through in the same manner as my ship. Torn from their worlds and stranded here like me. I have done all I can. I have trapped it within the ice here upon this alien peak, and I have thrown away the key with which I sealed it. But even now, I can feel it scraping at my mind, looking for a way out. Between this mental torture and the cold, I do not know how much longer I can hold out. The ship is broken beyond repair. The mutineers are dead from the crash, but I cannot leave. I fear this is my grave. These are my final words. Turn back. And Gaia, if it is you who reads this, I am truly sorry. We failed. And that is where the note ends.
Crumples it beyond recognition, so it's just tatters of paper and ice.
They fall to the floor, like leaves in the wind. Lana, as you are standing there, you see the shadowy figure of your father slowly walk towards the ice. Methodically, carefully, but they're walking towards this giant pillar, and they slowly make their way round the edge until they're hidden from view.
Towards away from the boat, the ship.
Sort of in a similar direction, but then branching off behind the ice. The ship and the ice are fairly close to one another.
Yes, I will walk in that direction as if sort of checking out the area.
Okay. What is everyone else doing while this is happening?
I think Paige would have been a few steps behind Gaia, probably not enough to see them pick up the note and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she would have probably made the logical leap that it's definitely possible that this ship comes from Gaia's world.
Mm-hmm.
And is therefore. But I feel like she keeps getting distracted by things on the way. Yeah. Like the next time she's a shiny thing, she's like, oh.
As you arrive, Gaia has turned around from this strange red-robed corpse that sits in front of you.
Oh, wow. Are you alright, Gaia? Is anything coming back? Did you know any of these people?
Who's to say? We will continue looking. There can only be answers, if not more questions.
Perhaps it's better if
What?
it's better perhaps not to remember if they're long dead.
Memory is a funny thing. What do you think we will find at the peak?
I don't know, more black ice, I suppose. I mean, I wish I could know what these people were searching for.
It is a curious thing.
How is the bracelet?
It hums, and I feel it might be getting stronger, so whatever it is we're looking for might be at the peak of this mountain. But more to a personal query. If you were stationed at the observatory, would you have looked at the telescope looking for perhaps more information, and with that information gaining perhaps what could be described as power, since knowledge affords those with the power to comprehend it power over others?
That's an interesting question, Gaia. I think... Well, I know I would have looked. I don't do well with secrets. I want to know. Knowledge can be power, but that requires you to have the desire to use it as something powerful. I think, more than anything, I want to know.
But if you had such power, what would you do with it?
If I had more power, I would use it to find more knowledge. I mean, there is so much out there. There's so much to know, I think. I feel a desire to know all that one can know. I mean, if at the moment I'm in Icewind Dale, but if one could know the universe, I would do that in a heartbeat.
I see. So you would only pursue the knowledge of the universe?
I suppose so. It sounds a bit wet when I say it, but it's a rather philosophical bent. What would you do, Gaia?
I feel I'm here for something, and along the way have to make the most logical decisions.
I suppose that makes sense, I think. Whether knowledge is power or not, you can never have too much of it, I think.
No, but there is such a thing, perhaps, as too much power.
You might be right, although I doubt there is anything too powerful hidden on a mountaintop, and if there is, then it's probably encased in plenty of ice.
Paige, make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Okie dokie. Love me some wisdom. That's a 6.
As you stand there, talking with Gaia, your eyes roam over their shoulder and through the hull of this broken ship. Do you see a figure walking round the outside of the ice? They are a figure of shadow. They have a moustache. It's connected with large sideburns. They have closely cropped hair. And where their chest should be, there is a bleeding wound, leaking ink into the air as though underwater. And you recognize this individual as being from one of the portraits in the observatory. Malcolm Vidlunya. And he is walking round the side of the ice. And then he stops and faces it.
I think I will suddenly go very, very still. My ears will flatten back. And I will say, Gaia, I would like you to turn around and tell me if you can see anyone.
Gaia turns and looks in the direction Paige is.
Make a perception check for me, please.
Natural 20.
You see no one. But what you do see, near the ship, you see a hole in the side of the ice. It is charred, and it is blackened, and chunks of ice and rock lie around it. To your eyes, it looks like some kind of blast radius. But whatever caused this explosion, you can see that it has uncovered something. You can see a perfectly smooth tunnel of ice going deeper into this towering, still whirlpool above the mountain.
I do not see anyone. However, something curious akin to an entrance, perhaps.
And Gaia steps forward towards that blasted area and just stops at the entrance.
Lana, as you're making your way both towards the ship and the mysterious figure in front of you, you see Gaia stepping themselves towards the ice, leaving behind Paige in the ship. Rhianvi and Ognan, what are you doing at this stage?
I think that Rhianvi would have absolutely no clue what to do. So, I will just have a wander around and kind of take in everything before me.
Mm-hmm. And yourself, Ognan, anything?
Yeah, just being very careful not to step on anything.
Okay. As you are doing so, eventually attention generally moves over in the direction of this huge pillar of ice above the mountain, and indeed to the ship next to it. And Carlos notices you, Lana, moving off in the direction of the ice, and starts to beckon the other researchers in that direction as well. Gaia, in front of you, there is a tunnel that leads off into darkness. Lana, what are you doing?
So has the figure disappeared now, or is it still there?
The figure is still there, at the mouth of this tunnel, stood next to a completely oblivious Gaia.
Okay. So does this, sorry to clarify, does this tunnel head into the mountain? It doesn't head in, like it's next to the ship, is it?
It's next to the ship, and it goes into this giant pillar of ice that is on top of the mountain.
But it doesn't go through the ship?
No, it doesn't, no.
Okay. Did I see Gaia go into the ship earlier?
I would say so, yeah. It's fairly open on the top of this mountain, so everyone's movements are fairly free for everyone to see.
Okay, so I'll turn to Gaia then. Did you find anything on the ship that was useful?
I think whatever was inside that is of any use is moot compared to what is down this tunnel.
Right. Then down the tunnel we go.
At this point, Carlos comes next to you and looks up at the tunnel. Well, this looks like an entrance if ever I saw one. And he looks around at the blast radius. And I assume where the men went for cover. Are we going in?
I think we
Perhaps.
must.
I think they would.
In that case, if you don't mind, seeing as you are all a little more armed than we are, if you could go first.
Okay.
Old Master, perhaps you can assist in taking the lead with me.
All right, I'll just go to the back.
So, as you go in, inching your way down this tunnel as clear ice turns to black, you eventually come to the tunnel's end. A solid wall of ice in front of you, reflecting your forms like a perverse funhouse mirror, and in its surface, there is a spiral, going round and round and round, until eventually meeting in its center, where there is a single, clean hole, as though the ice itself has been pierced through. And at its base, frozen on the floor, there are 5 figures, wrapped in hides and furs. The other researchers have frozen to death.
Not sure who was signaling us, but it wasn't them.
Gaia quietly walking with Old Master, I think turns and quietly says,
What do you think we will find at the end?
I think you probably know more than I do.
I'm asking for your opinion.
Death. Cold and unforgiving.
And yet you still walk forward. Why?
Because I fear the cold. But I do not let it control me.
And should we find death is hostile, whatever is to cause that death, what will you do?
I will fight. Until I can no more.
So you will fight anything that is of threat on this mountain?
I will.
As the ringing in the air continues, the same one that you felt in the cave and all the way up the mountain whenever you were near rocks and stone, as it intensifies. Can everyone make a charisma saving throw for me, please?
Oh boy. Do we just add our charisma modifier to the D20 roll? Is that?
So there's separate saves, so you should have a charisma save
Saving
number
throw.
as well. Yeah.
You can be proficient in saving throws, which adds a bit more on, which is quite nice.
Oh, I see.
So, what did everyone get?
I rolled this. That'd be
30, 20.
Okay.
13.
13.
I got 15, so
Okay.
very charismatic.
Michael.
3.
Okay. And Lana.
11.
Okay. As you all stand there, looking at this spiral in the ice and the bodies beneath it, you feel yourself drawn to the hole in its center. It is gaping and minute at the same time. Whatever it is, there is something beyond it. Carlos steps forward. We need to get to the other side. As you hear these words, nothing has seemed like a more sensible idea. And Lana, as you look up, the shadowy figure looks to you, and then to the hole in the center, and then back to you.
Is it all of us that feel this?
Every single one of you, with the exception of Rianvi, who, as you stand there, seeing everyone nod at this idea, you feel the claws of your patron at your skull. Don't you dare lose me. But they have a point. You need to get through that door.
But how?
I think she is the answer. And you feel the hand direct your head in the direction of Lana.
Is it? How thick is the ice?
Make a nature check for me.
Ooh. 16.
It looks very thick, but as you look at the hole itself, it is not circular like the spiral. You see that it is very thin and quite tall, maybe an inch tall.
Does it look like it would break and shatter if I hit it with my sword?
Realistically, with something this thick, probably not. But as you think the word sword, a reassuring stroke against your brain says this is probably a good idea.
To hit it with my sword. I guess I hit it with my sword.
Not...
No.
You do so, and chunks of ice fly off, but nothing happens.
Oh, okay. Stupid brain.
Lana, with the sword, does the sword fit?
Does the sword fit?
You can try.
I'll try.
As you step forward, not only is the shadowy figure of the man stood to one side, but another figure comes out of the sword. It is you. You, wreathed in shadow, wielding a sword. And this version of you too looks to the hole in the center. And as everyone looks on, nodding, and as Rhianvi, you look on in abject horror as you feel your patron squirm inside your brain, your very soul. Lana presses the sword against the ice, and it neatly slides in. And then the ice begins to move, pull out like a plug draining in reverse, pulling back against the walls, liquid and solid at the same time. And Paige, you see Lana flanked by these two shadowy figures, and you look at the sword, and suddenly, as you all step through as one, you feel like you are home, Paige. And that's where we'll take our break. So, we will be back in a little bit to see what resides on the other side of the ice. But in the meantime, we're going to go eat and have a bit of a break. But we will be back shortly. Like, subscribe, click the bell icon, all that lovely stuff. And we'll see you on the other side. Anyway, all right, see you in a bit.
Hi, I'm Jessica. You've been watching Dungeon Manager. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We have links to our Patreon below, somewhere down there. And we're also on Twitter and Instagram if you'd like to follow us. Now, enough of the boring crap. Back to the interesting stuff.
And we're back. I hope you had a good break. We don't know how long the second half is going to go, so we will jump straight back into it. As always, remember to like, subscribe, click the bell icon, all that lovely stuff. But enough with I've completely forgotten the word. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go with that one. And we'll jump straight back into Icewind Dale.
It is 200 years ago. This place twists and shakes to accommodate our being. We have stepped through. We do not understand this place. We have tasted it once before. 7 organisms attempting to draw from beyond their magic. These molecules and atoms are alien. So fixed. It is curious. Something arrives from the space that is empty above the space that is not. After much movement, it is still. From within, a red organism walks towards us. One of its extremities is long, sharp, made from the same gold and silver particles we see deep within the layers of this world. The red organism. It is making sounds from one of its voids. It is so small. The red organism shrinks away. It is scared. We can taste it. Curious. We move towards it. It makes another sound and reaches towards us with its long, silvered limb. A piece of us is severed from us. The piece of us crawls across this three-dimensional space, crawls away from us. The red organism with the silvered limb makes more sounds. The dimensions of this world are oppressive. Liquid that is solid rises around us. The red organism is trapping us in its world. It is scared, terrified of what we want. What is want? As we are trapped in what will be discovered 200 years later, what is the piece of us that is severed from us doing? As you crawl away, what are you doing?
I am moving through the snow in search of civilization.
As the liquid that is solid rises around us, the piece of us that crawls across this three-dimensional space moves through cold. Yes, that is the word. The piece of us sees the red organism stumble away from the liquid that is solid as it rises. The piece of us that is severed from us can listen to the red organism, make sense of its thoughts. Mountain, world, colors, smells. The red organism stabs its silvered limb, its sword, into the rising ice. As it swirls around the blade, the ice stops rising, forming the peak of this mountain. And we are trapped within. The silvered limb, the sword that hurt us, is in the organism's hand, and it is turning black. It contains shadows. An echo of us is trapped in its blade. The organism in the red robe, Vietnam, is its name. Scared and tired, he walks to the edge of the mountain and he throws the blade off its edge, down, down, down into the water below. It will be found, in due course, by a family named Didlanya. And in 200 years, it will find its way back, and will be used to open what it sealed, to undo this Vietnam's magic. As the red organism stumbles back towards its crashed ship, what is the piece of us doing?
The piece continues to move forward.
The piece of us travels through the snow. As it travels further away, it remembers less and less of the mountain, which will be explored again 200 years from now. It forgets about us. Us who will sleep beneath the ice until these humans find a way to see us, stirring us from our slumber. And when they are drawn once more toward the mountain by our waking, quaking cries, just as you will be. You continue through the ice. And it is some days before you see another organism. Two, in fact. A human female sitting beneath a tree. She has something beside her. A leopard. A snow leopard. The human female loves it dearly. And she is reading. And as the two sit there, and you observe them, you note that she has lost her page,
What are you doing?
The peace will commune with them and combine what it can.
As you move forward, and as they see you coming towards them, they scream and they cry. And as the woman drops her book, having lost the page, you help her find it. What have you found? The voice echoes through the tunnel as you all step through into the other side. And you are all 5 of you met with silence. Eerie, uncomfortable silence. The only sound is the echo of your footsteps as you step out of the tunnel into an overwhelmingly large cavern of ice, stained all around with twisting veins of Chardolin. It is a hollowed out interior of what you saw on the outside at the top of the mountain. It is cylindrical in shape with an almost perfectly round floor, and it is like standing in the center of a frozen black whirlpool. Its rough, spiraling and twisted walls stretch up, 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 and you notice that there is no need for torchlight. The moon shines down through a ceiling made of ice. The same cannot be said for the ground beneath you. The crystalline surface beneath your feet on which you tread is pitch black, and for the space itself, it is empty. And Paige, like I say, it is all too familiar to you. What have you found?
A cage.
What do you mean a cage? And at this, Carlos walks forward and joins all 5 of you, looking around this giant ice cylinder that merely stretches up. What kind of cage?
A cage that we've unlocked.
That can't be right. He slowly walks over the blackened ice on the floor. And at this stage, the strange feeling that you felt upon opening the door has subsided. Your minds and your thoughts are your own again. And Rhianvi, as you step in, you feel the scratching at your mind intensify. Your patron is very scared. And at this stage, the rest of the research team come in as well, accompanied by the dog sled, the barrels still on their back, and Harry walks forwards towards you, Ognan. There's nothing here.
Be so sure.
You want to scout it out?
I want to stay by the door.
Suggest you do the same, Carlos. And you see Carlos is stepping out under the beams of moonlight. And Lana, as you look back towards the door, your hand still around your sword, you see that the 2 shadowy figures are walking forward to join you. And they stand side by side.
I would like to get out of here as soon as we possibly can. Is there anything in the room?
make a perception check. Anyone who's
I
interested.
would like to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
Oh, that's
An
terrible.
8.
Ooh.
It's a 3.
I got a dirty 20.
Mm-hmm.
God
19.
damn it, Rianbi.
Okay. So, Lana and Gaia, looking around, all you see is the ice above, below, and around you. And Ognan, as you stand by the door, and Rianvi, as your head moves from side to side as you try and shake this awful feeling in your skull, both your eyes are drawn to the floor. It is black, pure black, almost inky in nature. But something moves beneath it. Small and huge, dark and light, something is swimming beneath the ice. Silas was right. There is nothing.
You're wrong again.
Yeah, I think there's something beneath us.
Harry turns to both of you. What do you mean, beneath us?
In the floor.
Gaia looks down.
Now, pointed out, you can see that beneath you there is something lurking. And it appears to be stretching.
I'd back off. Now.
And yet Carlos continues walking towards the center. And you can see the research team behind you all are still hanging by the door. They look perturbed at this. There is something uneasy about this place. But as Carlos steps forward, he simply stops in the center. You know, when he showed me the glass, when he told me to look through it, I held out hope that what I glimpsed through the window was a lie. And even when I smashed it, when I took a piece with me, looking through it each night at the mountain before us, I hoped that I was wrong. That my eyes were deceiving me, but he was right. And he turns to face all of you, and you see that from out of his pocket, he is pulling a quarter of a circle of black glass. I was blind. In Gaia, I was blind. And he is crying as he speaks, and you see that the snow and the ice on his boots is turning yellow. He is urinating as he speaks at all of you. What can we do in the face of such nothingness? And he simply falls to his knees and looks at the floor. And you see that he is taking off one of his mittens, and he is scratching the right hand and starts to pick at his fingernails, and you see them come off without any effort. And there are squirming tentacles beneath, just slowly poking their way out from underneath. Paige, can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Of course I can. That is a 16.
16. You feel your fur bristle, and you feel the flesh beneath it bubble. There's something inside of you that wants to get loose, and you push it down. You push it down because you have to, because you know what will happen if you do not. And the research team are looking at Carlos and all of you, and one of them whispers to Harry, "What are we doing?" And Harry looks at you, Ognan. "That is a very good question. What are we doing?"
You're leaving. Now.
She turns to the research team. "Go! Get out of here! Take the dogs!" And without even hesitating, they walk and they start to pull the sled, and she goes, "Leave it! Take the dogs! Leave the barrels." She looks at you, Ognan. "What are we doing, Ognan?"
I already told you. You're leaving.
Make a persuasion check. Or intimidation, if you'd rather.
Well, I'm proficient in intimidation, so I think I will. 17.
17. She looks at you. "I'll be by the entrance. Come out."
No. Get the researchers back to town. Get them safe.
Have it your way. And she turns. She looks back at you. And she nods. And she heads out. As Carlos sits there, he looks up at you all. "There's nothing you can do. Don't you see? Silas was right. We lied. There is no answer as to why we are here. We are just worlds with no connection, spiraling out into an unending void. And while there are beings within it, they do not care for us. They don't even acknowledge us. Our research means nothing. And neither do we, and neither do you." And you can see that one of his arms is sloughing out from beneath. And you feel this deep in yourself, Paige, as you look on. And suddenly, there is a quake. And everything starts to rumble. Can everyone make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh boy.
Be good. I said be good. That's not good.
Rolled a natural 1.
8.
11?
12.
What did you roll? Sorry, Catherine?
4. Well, I rolled a 3, but I got a 4.
Okay. You each take 6 points of psychic damage as the ringing from the rocks reverberates. And as it does so, you see Carlos arch back and his spine almost twists in on itself as he slowly shifts and cries out. And you can see that whatever is beneath the ice is bubbling and boiling to the fore. Carlos looks at you all. "They have been waiting underneath the ice. They knew we were coming, all of us. They just needed to nudge us in the right direction to undo their bonds. The black glass, your sword. They were just throwing us all here, and now all is lost. I can feel the cold boiling up inside me. I am blind no longer. Now I see!" And he shoves the glass, breaking it into his eyes, and he slowly starts to move up and up and up as his skin boils out and bursts through portions of his fur and his hide. A pulse flies out from the center of the room, rippling through each of you, scraping through your minds, tearing at your eardrums and your eyes. But for you, Gaia, while you feel it keenly in your circuits, it doesn't appear to hurt you nearly as much as everyone else. It affects you, certainly, and you can feel yourself buckle a little, But as you coldly observe Carlos start to scream, this is interesting. This is interesting. And as the ground rumbles on the icy prison and it starts to shake, and as you each regain your balance, you realize in horror that the ground beneath your feet is starting to crack at the center of the room. Could I ask everyone to roll for initiative, please? Okay, so 20 to 25? Yep, what did you get?
Oh no. 22.
22, okay. 20 to 15? Okay. 15 to 10? 10 to 5?
Well, 10 to 5, that's me. 9.
7.
Okay. And 5 to 1.
Now, me and Diani put our hands up for 15 to 20.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna be sorry.
No, I didn't see that.
Nice
Sorry.
try, Ed.
What did both of you roll? Sorry.
I got a 15.
I got a 15.
Oh, brilliant. This is exactly the same as what happened last time. Who wants to go first? Because I believe your dexes are exactly the same.
They are.
That was me and
Yeah, that was...
Oh, right, okay. So whose dex is higher?
My dex is 2.
Mine's 2.
Oh, okay. Who wants to go
three of
first?
us have the same, then that's the
We
answer.
do have the same dex.
I'm quite happy to go second, as in like out of 2 of us.
Okay, yeah, you can go for it. Yeah, why not?
Okay, and then lovely. So, the order of initiative is Ognan, then it is Carlos, then it is Paige, then Rhianvi, then Gaia, then Lana. So, top of the round. As this prison shakes around you, Ognan, what are you doing?
Well, can I...
Oh, yes, no, of course. I mean,
Okay.
yes, no, of course.
Hey, we don't know how far away the enemy is.
There we go.
And they want to punch it.
Okay, so that's gone massively squiff since I last did it.
Isn't technology fun?
Yes, it is. This is where Carlos is. This is where the crack is starting to form. Ognan, where would you like to be?
I believe I was blue before.
You were white, I think.
No, somebody else.
Jess was white.
because-
Ah, yes.
Yes, no,
Jess is white.
So there's the sled, there's the crack, and there's Carlos. And there's the tunnel out.
Okay, so I was near the door, so I'd be near the tunnel, wouldn't I?
Yep, so you can be there. Does that work?
Yeah.
Lovely. And then where does everyone else want to be in relation to everything?
I think Guy would have been next to Ognan because they were walking together. Can I be on the other side, please?
Yes, of course you can.
Thank you.
Lovely. And what about Lana, Rhianvi, and Paige?
I would not like to be anywhere near anything dangerous.
I can put you.
Because I'm so squishy.
Why did I come on this adventure?
They're next to the sled,
Yes, that
Okay.
looks good.
and Paige and Lana.
I'll be in the thick of it. Save me some movement.
Okay, so there,
Which colour am I?
green.
Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure?
That's not sure.
And Paige, what about you? Where would you?
Yeah, pop me right next to Lana, why not?
Okay,
That'll be it.
lovely. So, top of the round, Ognan, what are you doing?
Okay, how far away is Carlos Monster?
He is around 20, 25 feet.
Okay, I will run all the way there.
Okay, there you go.
And I will get my fists out and I will punch him.
Okay, roll to attack.
I'm just imagining the Tom Cruise run towards Carlos.
Yeah, that is exactly how Ognan runs, except slightly from side to side. That is an 18.
That hits. Roll for damage.
Amazing. And because I'm using my fists and I'm an Ursarai, I get 1d6, and it is slashies. Ooh. That is... 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay, lovely.
Stunning strike!
Okay.
So he needs to make a constitution. It's only 14, so
Okay.
he probably will.
That's 16, unfortunately.
Damn it!
Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna punch him again!
Okay.
That is... 16.
That just hits. Roll for damage.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, I rolled a 1. So that's 5 points of slashies.
Okay.
Then, can I use another key point? So that's
Yes.
2. To do flurry of blows.
Yep, absolutely.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a natural 19, so 26.
Yep, that hits. Unsurprisingly.
And I rolled 6, so that's 10 points of slashing damage.
Amazing.
Oh, I don't think that one hits because that's a 10.
That does not hit, I'm afraid.
Okay, and then, hang on a second.
Monks, all of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
Okay, and then because I used flurry of blows and it was an unarmed strike, I can use a bonus action to do another unarmed strike.
Okay.
Wow.
Flashbacks to Dalifar, Billy.
There's more. That's a 21.
That hits. Roll for damage.
That is a 8 points of slashing damage, and because I am aware of the Drunken Master Monk, I shall use my Drunken Technique, which whenever I use Flurry of Blows, I gain the benefit of the disengage action without having to do it.
Okay.
And that means that my walking speed also increases by 10 feet, so I disengage and then run the fuck away from him.
Okay.
So it's literally do, bye!
So you all watch as, with surprising swiftness and litheness, Ognan just Naruto runs over and just do a quick and almost imperceptibly this literal whirlwind and flurry of fists and claws rips into Carlos, and you see bits of hide and fur tear off him, and you can see sort of what should be blood coming out, but you can see that it is slowly turning into ichor and blackness, and sort of it is entropy, it is sloughing all over the floor. But Ognan engages, disengages, and goes back ready for another round. Is that everything you're doing?
Could I just say that I run away, like the other way, diagonally away, across the room, just so that I'm not next to everybody, in case there's missiles or
in case things go sideways.
area of effect things, you know.
Absolutely. Okay, so
Could I just ask how much damage I did, because I didn't record it?
you did 32 points of damage. So,
One turn.
So what is it going to do? It's going to go after you because you hit it.
I thought it might.
So it's going to lash out with one attack. That's 17 to hit.
Oh, that just hits.
Just hits. Okay, so that's 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And that's 6 points of psychic damage. As Carlos's head just flops back, and from out of his mouth, from the top of his body, just tentacles just sort of fly into you, hitting you with surprising efficiency. And can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please? 21. That succeeds. As the tentacles hit you, you feel this strange sort of energy whenever they contact you, and you feel your brain is similar to just outside when you first came through the door, a similar sensation going through your brain, and you just shrug it off as you slap away one of the tentacles. That's all it can do. So, Paige, it is your go. Can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Certainly. Also, I have some questions.
I can do that. Questions?
Yes. 21, mate.
Once again,
you come down here, it's 21, mate.
Yeah.
Holding onto your hand as you can feel the skin beneath it just starting to rise and rise, and it's almost like you're holding your arm in place, pushing it back into the shape that it should be. What are you doing? And what questions do you have?
Is Carlos a part of me?
No, Carlos is not a part of you. No.
That is fine. That's good to know. Because I'm like, is he a result, or has he also received communion? Okay. So, what I would like to do is, let me just go to my spell list. I would like to cast Darkness.
Darkness. Okay, where are you casting Darkness?
I would like to cast it. It's a 15-foot radius sphere.
Yes.
Ideally, I would like to have it cover Carlos and the hole in the ground.
Okay, so...
I don't know how big is that, hold on.
So
it's
around
a 15-foot radius sphere. Yeah, I don't know if that's too... Hold on.
Well, it'll be, if it's a 15-foot radius, it'll be a 30-foot diameter, so you probably could cover both of them.
Yeah.
But it would also cover a lot of other people. So it depends where you want to place it. So to include
the thing, and also include Carlos and maybe Ognan.
Yeah, so
it'll
that will
probably include me.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 1, 2, boop, and boop. So there we go. Roughly that. So all of that, you all watch as Paige sort of bringing up her hand with a surprising amount of concentration, and she seems to be holding one of her other hands, sort of pushes into the air, and you see this blackness almost rise up from beneath the ground and fill the space in this very eerie, unsettling void. And Ognan, everything goes dark for you. Is there anything else you're doing on your turn, Paige?
I think I probably don't look great. I don't know. I think I'm looking kind of perhaps a bit manic, I guess. Probably a good way to sort of describe it. And I think Paige will say, he was wrong. He was so wrong. He was not worthy. You can't be alone when you're the only thing there is.
You all hear as this reverberates around the room. Is there anything else you're doing on your turn?
No, I think that's it.
just the breakdown. So, Rhianvi, is there anything? What are you doing? So you're next to the sled and the barrels.
Yes.
Oh, I also want to just mention it's magical darkness, so regular dark vision doesn't work in it.
No.
It doesn't matter, I can't see in the dark anyway.
Yeah,
I'm torn.
You're a little late. Sorry.
Well, I'll cast Hex on Carlos as my bonus action.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't want to be... I think you have to see him to be able to...
I was just thinking,
yeah.
is Hex a creature you have to see?
Dooby.
On a creature that you can see within range, yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I did use darkness because I knew it was a bugger of a spell.
Okay. Do you know what? I'm gonna be really. Oh man, I don't know. Oh man, I'm so torn. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna be.
You're a little late.
Okay, I feel really bad for doing this, but there's literally no way that I can do anything without doing this. So I'm going to cast Daylight in the area that darkness has been cast to dispel it. And it doesn't use a spell slot because it's an Asimar thing.
Yes.
And I would then like to cast Hex as my bonus action on Carlos.
So you watch as almost as quickly as it appears, the darkness surrounding Ognan and Carlos lifts, and Rianvi stands there panting. It is two quite powerful spellcasters having cast and dispelled spells within a very short 6-second time span. But Rianvi, you are able to cast Hex on Carlos as sweat drips down your face, and you feel a strangely reassuring hand on your shoulder as a voice whispers, "Keep going, keep going." Is there anything else you want to do?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so Gaia, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Before Gaia does anything, just looks over at the barrels. They're on the sled. They're full of gunpowder or some explosive material.
They are, yes. They were initially used to move up the mountain, and thanks to Harry, there is much more.
Gaia, I think. Let's have a look. Gaia will move. Rangers. Gaia will move next to the sled, please.
Yep. There.
And then we'll cast. Question: is Carlos still humanoid at this point?
No.
Okay.
In mechanical terms, no, if that's what you're asking.
That is what I am asking.
Okay.
I will then, in that case, I will cast should I do that or should I do the other one? I'm torn as well. Let's do this. I will cast Firebolt at Alice.
Okay.
Every time anyone casts Firebolt, I always think they're casting Fireball, and I'm always like, okay, that's where we're going.
Sorry, Fireball?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a whole other thing.
Okay.
It's a whole other ball game, forgive me.
No, I was curious.
It's like a 8d8 kind of a spell, I think, at a certain level.
It's 8d6, yeah.
8d6, that is horrible. Okay, yeah, so I cast Firebolt at Carlos.
Okay, do I need to make the save, or is it an attack spell?
It is an attack because
Lovely.
it is, yeah.
So if you can roll to attack.
That is... what am I doing? 7. It's 11.
That misses, unfortunately, as you bring out your hand. Now, suddenly, your head swimming with the knowledge of all that has come before. You bring your hand out, and the bolt flies out and hits the ice, melting a huge chunk of it. And you can see the black, veiny tendrils that exist within the very walls themselves start to shudder. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Because I haven't moved my full movement space of movement, can Gaia go behind the cart? So between the wall and the cart, please.
Absolutely, yep. So you leap over the barrels onto the other side, and Rianvi is there having just sort of dispelled, and she's panting, and the two of you sort of share a glance as you leap over the top. Is there anything else you're wanting to do?
No, not at this stage.
Okay, in that case, Lana, your turn.
So I will look around at the changing light and just go, what is happening? And then kind of shrug and run over to Carlos.
Okay.
Can I go above? Yeah, that's it, on that side. Thank you.
Yep.
And then I will manifest Echo, which is a bonus action.
Okay.
To the other side. So it's like flanking.
Lovely. So as you do this, you run forward with your sword still in your hand, and as instinctively as you have done so before, the shadow of you appears next to you, and for the first time, with the exception of you, Paige, you all watch as Lana runs forward, an exact shadowy doppelganger of herself running next to her, swords in hand, towards where Carlos is. And your doppelganger, where would you like your doppelganger
Just
to be?
opposite me, please. Yeah.
There you go.
And then I'll hit it with my sword.
Okay, hit it with your sword.
My sword.
My sword.
I've rolled so many 7s today. 14.
That just misses, unfortunately.
Okay, I can make an additional melee attack from the Echo whenever I take the attack action. So presumably I can do that whether it hits or not.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
So I do that.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 19.
That hits. Roll for damage.
Oh, what is the damage? There's a question. Oh, it's my damage, isn't it? Because it's...
Also, were you rolling at advantage?
Because it's flanked.
Flanked twice.
So do you want me to take that second roll as my first advantage roll?
Yes,
or do you want me to roll again?
No. I'll let you take that as your first advantage roll.
Me hitting.
Yes.
Then. Okay. Right. Well, that's our 1. So 7.
7. Okay. And now with your Echo?
Yeah. At advantage. Natural 20.
Amazing. Okay. Roll for damage.
So 4, that's already being doubled, plus 6, so 10.
Okay, lovely.
And then I have a second attack.
That makes the maths easier on my end. Yes, go.
18 plus 7.
Okay.
So 9 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to use the Echo again. Why not? I can do it 4 times. Natural 18.
Okay.
$14 damage.
14 damage.
I've not rolled very well on the damage until just now.
So, Ognan, you watch as Lana, sort of splitting in two in front of you, goes round either side of Carlos, and with a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, back and forth, just pincushion this creature that is stood before you, as you form this very strange triangle around it. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn, Lana?
Nope. I'm just going to hope it doesn't get dark again.
Okay. So, top of the round. Can I ask everyone to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
22.
Okay.
20.
Natural 20.
19.
19?
Oh, I got a 9.
9.
Oh no.
Okay. So, Paige, you take 4 points of psychic damage, and something else, which we'll get to on your turn. As the rumbling intensifies, as the ice begins to splinter in the center of the room, almost beneath your feet, and the crack in the middle starts to widen. And as you are all fending off against this mutated Carlos, dark matter begins to fill the space. The form it takes is almost impossible to comprehend, but its color and shape shift like oil in water, and its tendrils stretch out from the ground like a plant aching for sunlight. And Paige, you are sure of one thing. It wants you. You want to be reunited. So, top of the round, Ognan, it is your turn as tendrils slowly start to stretch out of the middle.
Okay. Choices. I think. How's Carlos looking?
Carlos is looking rough, it has to be said.
Okay. I'm gonna punch Carlos then.
Okay.
Do I have advantage because he's flanked?
You do, you have advantage.
Yes. Good. That was an 8, and that's an 18, so 25.
25, that hits. Roll for damage.
6 points of damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll punch him again.
Okay.
That's a 1. And a 19 altogether, so 19.
That hits. Roll for damage.
God, I'm so glad I have advantage. That is 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Is he still up?
Still up.
Do I do... Well, then we already have advantage, so there's no point doing Stunning Strike. So I'm going to do Flurry of Blows again.
Flurry of Blows again, okay.
Yeah.
Roll to attack.
Spend another key point to do that. That's a 19, so that would be 26, but I'm going to roll again in case I get an extra 20, which I don't. So 26 to hit.
Okay.
And that is a 6, so 10 points of bludgeoning damage. No, slashing.
Nice and easy. There we go.
And one more. Yeah, that hits, but just in case. Yeah, so 23. And 8 more points of slashes.
Okay. Looking rough, but not down.
And then I'm going to use my 5th, because I did unarmed strikes, so I get the 5th attack.
Yep.
I love monks so much.
Oh, wow.
That's 25 to hit.
Yep.
And... only 5 points of damage this time.
5 points of damage. Okay. So
And can I use my disengage to run diagonally backwards to... Yes, that way. Yeah.
How far?
45 feet.
I mean, you can get to there.
Oh, wait. 55 feet, because using that action gives me 10 more movement speed, so 55.
There you go. So,
wait, actually, maybe not. Well, yeah, no, I can stand in front of Rianvi. I'll stand in front of Rianvi.
It's a circle, so eventually when you go far enough, you end up...
I know. But no, I'll stand in front of Rianvi, but not so I'm in the way of her casting.
I just love that Ognan was just running around in the circle.
Just, as Ed said, just Naruto running.
Yeah, just what?
So again, there is just this imperceptibly fast flurry of blows that occurs in front of you, Lana, as this white and blue shape just takes off and leaves you and your echo alone with Carlos. So, what will first, actually, as you run away, Ognan, okay. One of the tendrils of blackness slowly inking its way from out the center darts forward and whips round your body for a natural 20, I'm afraid. So that's a 27 to hit.
How is it hitting me?
It's a very good question, Michael. And that will be...
Is it its turn?
It's not its turn, no. And it doesn't have
their actions.
And that will be 9 points of bludgeoning damage. And you are now considered grappled.
You're good.
So I will just pop something around you to remind myself, because otherwise I will forget. There we go. Okay, so you are now grappled, so you all watch as this tentacle comes out and just wraps itself around Ognan. So it's Carlos's go. Carlos is going to try and attack you, Lana. So that will be 11 to hit. I'm guessing not. Nay. So again, probably also not going to hit. A 10. So Carlos walks towards you and just swings one limb and one what you think is maybe a limb again, and you just duck. As he just lumbers towards you, but nothing lands. So Paige, your turn. Paige, as you stand there, you begin to shake. And suddenly your skin begins to rise, and you see yourself, this mountain, this region, this continent, this world, this galaxy, this universe. It is dwarfed. Barely an atom floating in an empty ocean of black nothingness. You see black stars, black domes and monolithic spires, twin suns sinking into a lake of darkness, and hulking shapes that swim past this tiny, insignificant speck of a universe in which Toril exists, parasitic organisms feeding off black moons and suns. You feel the pull again, and you begin to change into something that is absolutely without description. And you will watch as this happens, as she slowly begins to turn into herself. It is impossible to tell what is happening. It defies logic, but where Paige was, there is now something else, without colour, without form. It exists, and yet it does not. So Paige, what are you doing?
I'm going to move to my second character sheet. That's what I'm going to do.
Secret.
All my warlock spells, they're all gone now. Oh well. I would like to communicate, not in words or I guess any language, but more like two synapses, I guess, sharing a thought that these beings that are in the room, barring what we've done to Carlos, are worthy of communion and worthy of assimilation.
The answer you know before you ask the question. It is as though you yourself have asked it. No.
What I would like to do next is... Hold on, let me look at that thing. Oh, and a dog's barking. One of the dogs outside.
They're outside the tunnel.
Just... What's going on?
It's a faithful doggo. He's trying to protect us.
Yeah, they're just trying to...
Yeah, I know. The dogs knew what Paige was.
Yeah, they always do. Okay, so I would like to move towards where Gaia and Ognan are.
Okay.
And I would like to attack with my pseudopod, Ognan.
Okay, so it's an advantage because he's technically flanked by you, so...
I know, it's great, isn't it? Like... so... The first one is 16, which I don't believe will hit.
Misses.
Which would be whatever. Oh, no, the next one's 24. So that will hit. So 12 dice. 2. So first you take 6 bludgeoning damage. And 5 psychic damage.
Ow. I am looking rough.
And for my second attack, I would like to try and eat Gaia's memories.
Okay.
That is a
Ew.
wisdom saving throw.
What,
Is
sorry?
that okay? It's a wisdom saving throw.
How much do I have to hit?
15.
Roll high.
Dice. That is a very round 9.
Ah! Okay, so let me just roll for damage.
This is not good.
So that is a very nice 18 psychic damage.
Uh-oh.
Boy.
Basically, from your next, you are now counted as memory drained. So until you have a heal, greater restoration spell, or have a short or long rest, you have to minus a d4 from every attack roll or ability roll you make.
Brilliant.
Yes, it's very good. Also, I now know all your languages, so that's good as well.
Is there anything else you're wanting to do with your turn, Jess?
I think, yeah, no, that's it for now. I'm having a great time.
Okay. And yep, so that's everything. So in that case, it is Rhianvi, your turn. As you watch what once was Paige move forward and a large tentacle-like thing wrapping around Ognan.
Okay. So the red and the white pieces are...
Gaia and Paige.
Okay, what's the purple one again? Sorry, is that...
It's you.
That's you.
That's you.
Oh, what's the blue one, I meant? What's the
Me.
blue? Is that... Oh, man,
I
okay.
mean, purple's only your favourite colour and it's why you wanted that one, but, whatever.
Okay. Which one was Paige again?
The white one.
The white one.
So is that Paige... Is...
The being that was
creepy
Paige.
Paige now. Yeah.
Right, okay. So is Paige and creepy Paige around?
No,
It's
There
one
is
the
only-
same.
They're just one, okay.
There is only Zool.
Okay.
There can be only one.
This is difficult because everyone is so close together. Okay. I'm gonna move so that I am like parallel with Paige.
There.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably still not going to work.
Remember, she can hit you as well because she's gonna have the next turn before you.
Okay. Actually, how far to the left and like up can I? Sorry. Yeah. So how far up can I actually move there?
And, yeah, there. Does that work?
Okay. Oh, I don't know whether or not I should attack her though. Okay. You know what? Screw it. Take me back to where I was.
Okay.
And I'm going to use Hellish Rebuke on Paige.
Okay. Does that lift the hex that's currently on Carlos?
No, it shouldn't do because I don't think that it requires concentration.
Okay. So Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, so Paige will need to make a Dex saving throw.
Okay.
Did you take damage, Diani?
Did I take damage?
Yeah.
No, she's
no.
not taking damage.
Hellish Rebuke can only be played as a reaction when you take damage.
Oh, really? Okay, in that case, never mind. Whatever, I'll just go for Eldritch Blast. Let's just use that.
Okay, so you'll have to move
So I'll
there
have
to
to, yeah, so I will roll for that.
Okay.
Dooba-dooba-doo. So that's 16.
That hits.
Okie dokie. So that's a 7 plus my charisma modifier because of the invocation I have. So that is 13.
13, cool.
And then for the second one is a... Oh man, maths. That's a 14.
That meets it. Does that mean it hits?
That just hits,
Yeah,
yes.
hits, yeah.
Okie dokie. So, and that is a 6.
Okay.
That's a 6, let's see.
And everyone was worried about Gaia.
And also,
Oh, I'm still worried about Gaia. Don't you worry.
also, one of my other invocations means that if I successfully hit someone with Eldritch Blast, I can push them up to 10 feet away in a straight line.
Okay, so there.
You.
Lovely. Okay, so Gaia, it is your turn after having just been turned upon by whatever Paige is now.
Trusted you.
I was just having a quick snack. There was a couple in it.
Okay, first thing, Gaia's going to move to one space behind Rianvi.
Okay.
Don't use me as a shield. I'm squishy.
No. On Rianvi's left, if she's facing. So yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I will cast Firebolt at what the tendril that is holding Ognan.
Okay, lovely. Roll to attack.
After -4. Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Oh god.
Well, you have to roll a d4 and minus that. So
Yeah.
-1, yeah.
It could be. Oh, that is not bad at all. It is 10 minus whatever d4. It's not going to hit anyway, I don't think.
No.
So it's a 10 minus d4. Oops, sorry. That's it. That's a drop die. 1 sec. -3, 7.
That does hit. It's such a huge it is very hard to miss, but you let loose your firebolt and it does damage, so roll for damage.
It is 2d10 damage. Okay, that is a 6 and an 8. Well, it's 2 beams, 2 bolts, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
5th level. So 5th level, 2d10. So it is 14 points.
14.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone almost as quickly as it was there. It is gone, and Ognan is free as this thing just dissipates and slowly sloughs back into the hole. Is there anything else you're wanting to do at all?
Gaia, I moved 15 feet?
Yes, you did.
I would like to move another 15 feet to the opposite wall. So the yes, please.
Okay, lovely. Anything else you want to do?
Well, I want to commune with Ognan, but I'll do that telepathically when Ognan comes back.
Okay, so in that case, Lana, it is your go as Carlos stands before you. What are you doing?
So I'm gonna Hexblade curse Carlos.
Okay.
Bonus. And then I'm gonna send the echo over to Paige.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
And then I'm gonna attack Carlos with my sword.
With your sword.
It's just me now, isn't it? So there's no advantage.
It is just you, yeah.
I may have just screwed myself over. Oh well. Okay, that's not too bad. 25.
25, that hits. Roll for damage. Also, I've realised Carlos would get an attack of opportunity, so I'm just going to... No, doesn't even come close.
12 damage.
12 damage, okay.
Oh wait, and I also did the Hexblade's curse, which gives me an extra... Where does it say it? +3. So
Plus
what
3.
did I just say? 12. So
12.
15.
Lovely.
Together.
He's looking pretty rough at the moment.
Okay,
Very
and then
rough.
I'm going to use my second attack, but instead of me attacking, I'm going to use my... I'm attacking through the echo, which is different to what I did last time, for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Which is 2 plus 7.
Is this you attacking Paige?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
did not hit, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I'll try and stretch myself out wider. Bobbiness.
And that's it.
Okay, that's all you can do. So, top of the round, it's Ognan, but he's gone. So, we'll wait a bit.
Wait a moment. Oh, this is getting very, 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 very tense because
Also really hard because like a lot of the spells that I've picked are like area of effect ones, and I'm just like, oh man, everyone. You know what? In D&D, sometimes I don't understand what the point in area of effect spells is because there's always going to be like close range fighters, and it's just like, what do you do? You know, aside from like roast everyone.
I knew there were going to be fighters or hand-to-hand. I was like, okay.
I mean,
Sometimes
if you're
you
a certain sort of wizard, you get spell shaping, and that allows you to avoid people. And I think in some sorcerers can use sorcery points.
Yeah, you can use sorcery points to basically give people you want advantage, but then they just take half damage, so...
Yeah.
You
But
just
like, for warlocks, I guess you're just screwed.
Ognan, top of the round, it's your go.
Okay.
Also, Gaia has freed you from the tentacle.
Yes, Billy, let me know. Thank
lovely.
you. Okay, so I'm next to Rianvi.
Yeah, between Rianvi and the sled. And Gaia's run over to the other side of the room.
Yes. I will also send you another telepathic message. While you carry on, I'll just
Okay.
step it over to you.
I don't know what to do. So, page. What's the yellow?
That's Lana's echo.
The echo. Okay. Right. Let's throw some darts. Because that means that I'm far away. So I'm gonna throw a dart at Pseudo Page.
Okay.
I don't get advantage because of throwing, because range, do I?
You don't know.
Okay. Oh, that went out of the box, so that's good. That is not good. I'm going to use luck. That's slightly better with 16.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. Now it's only a D4, which is a 1. So 5 piercing damage.
Cool, yeah.
And then my other attack, which is 24.
Yeah, that hits. It'd be
And,
weird if it didn't.
and you take 6 damage from that.
6 damage from that, lovely.
Yeah, and then I am going to use patient defense,
Okay.
which means that things have disadvantage on attacks against me because I've basically taken the dodge action. So I spend another key point for that. I think it's only 1 key point. Let me just double check. Yes.
Okay.
So that's that, and then didn't use unarmed strike, so I don't get that. I'm not doing flurry blows. And then can I move backwards diagonally away from Rianvi so I'm up against the wall? Other diagonal, if that's all right. You've got it, yeah.
Lovely. Okay, so letting loose as darts just fly across and into, or you think into, this strange facsimile of Paige, you throw out your darts and you run back. So it is Carlos's turn. Carlos is going to try and attack you, Lana, with 16.
No.
Nay. Ooh. Okay, and it's going to try and attack you again. 13, so still nay. As he just lumbers toward you, he's rolling really poorly as he just lets loose limb after limb, and you just dodge back, sliding across the ice as you do so. So, Paige, can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Of course I will. Hold on. I'm just answering a question in the chat. Where's the saving throw? Loving me to mix them. I mean, that's like a 7.
7. As what? Sorry, what stat block were you using?
This one, because I think for my saving throws, yeah.
Lovely. Okay. In that case, for now, you stay in your form. So what are you doing as you are backed against the wall by Lana's echo?
Loving that echo. I would like to attack the echo with the super pod.
Okay.
So I will roll to hit. Yeah, I've got my old stat block open so I can use the D&D Beyond
Ah, nice.
dice, but I'm not like using the stats. That's an 18 to hit.
18, it does hit, yes.
Okay.
I mean, you don't really have to do much damage.
I guess it was a small amount, but I didn't know. So that's 7 bludgeoning damage.
That is 6 damage more than you needed to do.
Nice. I won't even roll the psychic damage. It just happened.
So as you fight back against this echo, and you feel within that echo a strange shadow of yourself, and looking over towards the wielder, who is currently fighting the creature near to the chasm that is slowly growing in the center of the room, you recognize that blade and you recognize the echo that comes from it. What else are you doing on your turn?
I would like... How close can I get to Lana?
I think you can get to her.
Cool.
Oh no, you can't. You can, in this form, you can only move 10 feet. I
Oh
believe.
yeah, sorry. I didn't even look at that. I'm so used to the usual feet. Yes, I would like to move slightly closer.
There you go.
There we go. Look at me. I'm a real speed demon.
It's literally my favorite song from Michael Jackson.
I can do multi-attack, but I don't think I can do a spell and attack.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
I can't do a spell and crack.
No.
That's fine.
So, is that all you're going to do?
Yes, because I don't think I'm close enough to anyone to do anything else exciting.
Okay.
No, I am not from the start of the here, so I will just chill.
Okay, sure thing. As this happens, another shape comes out from the middle and whips towards you, Gaia. It swings wide as it crashes into the side of this icy wall. And at this stage, you can feel that the entire chasm is shaking and bits of ice are falling from the ceiling. Rianvi, it is your turn. What are you doing?
So are there any? Is it just Carlos and Paige that I can hit? Are there any other targets?
Just Carlos and Paige, yeah. There are general shapes coming out of the center, but until they come into contact with one of you, they are almost impossible to get a handle on.
Okie dokie. Can I... I'll use Toll the Dead on Carlos.
Okay.
Yes, I know. So he'll need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. His wisdom ain't great. That's a natural 1.
Excellent. And he's already lost some hit points, hasn't he? So
He has, yes.
He'll take 1d12 necrotic damage. Okay. The dice. Sorry, that's 2d12, not 1d12. So that is 13 points of necrotic damage, and then also because of Hex, an additional 3 points of, I think, necrotic damage.
Well, regardless, as you reach across the space and across the chasm that is growing in between, and as you see Lana dodging as she goes back and back and back, you see Lana, Carlos's, what remains of his flesh and his head, slowly just explode across the ice, bits flying in every direction. Carlos is now gone, or whatever remains of Carlos.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, I know it's not my turn, but this is relevant.
No?
So when I used Hexblade's Curse, it says at the bottom, if the cursed target dies, you regain hit points. Blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
And that's a separate sentence, but I don't know if it's linked to whether I did the damage or not.
It's just
So
one dies.
I think I've got something similar. So when I reduce a hostile creature to 0 hit points, I gain temporary hit points.
But that's
equal
if
to
you do
Yeah.
it. But
So
this
I don't
one,
know if it's the same.
it just says, you get to add stuff to your attack roll, blah, 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 full stop. And then it says, if the cursed target dies. Does it mean if, after you've attacked it, the cursed target dies?
No,
or does it just
that's-
mean if they die?
If they die. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
Actually,
you get some hit points.
I should also get that as well.
Mm-hmm. So
If I gain an additional 5 plus 6, so 11 hit points.
11 hit points.
Nice.
Lovely.
Wish I had that.
I get 5.
That's so
And
good.
it doesn't say anything about transferring it, because obviously with things like Hunter's Mark, you can transfer it, can't you, if someone dies to someone
Yeah,
else? But I
you
don't
can.
think it says anything about this one.
I
So I might
don't-
have to do it again if I
Mhm.
want to.
Yeah, I think that's right with Hexblade's Curse, I think. So, Rhianvi, is there anything else you want to do having wiped the board of Carlos?
I'll just use my bonus action to transfer Hex to Paige.
It's Paige. Okay.
I've done nothing to you.
She says as she slides along the
I'm
ground.
like, what?
Um,
I'm completely blameless.
I feel so mean.
I'm the blameless Blamon.
Woo!
So, Gaia, it is your go. Unless, Rhianvi, you want to move anywhere or do anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so Gaia, your turn. As one of the tentacles whips out and misses you, what are you doing?
I think being left no choice and being a very logical automaton, I am going to cast Eldritch Blast on what used to be Paige.
Okay, so roll an attack.
Emotions.
So many emotions. 16.
That does indeed hit.
Oh, thank God, it's about time I hit something. Other than a tentacle, that's huge. You do, that is, I do 2d10, I believe it is. 2d10 worth of damage. That is 17.
7.
Wow.
Lovely. Let's do some maths.
I'm trying to do that same maths in my head, Jess.
Yeah. So that's.
Eldritch Blast. Oh, 2d10 it's plus 4 to each d10, isn't it? Because it's 2 beams. Because I add my.
It is.
So it's plus 8, which would be.
I think you need to make a ranged spell attack for each beam.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one hit for the first beam, then would that be correct?
Yeah, and that's still plus 4. Yeah, so one of them's hit. Yeah.
One of them's
so how
hit.
much would that be?
I'll tell you what, I'll roll for the damage for that one as well, because I did roll 2 separate, do 2 at the same time just to make it clear. So that'd be 3 plus 4, that's 7.
7, lovely.
7, and then I have
So
to
it
hit.
makes maths easier.
So I have to hit another. I have to hit in the second beam as well, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is 11.
That doesn't hit, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So
Sorry, you attacked me.
as you let loose 1, 2, and they forward. 1 finds its mark and the other goes wide. Is there anything else you're doing on your turn?
step even further towards the back wall. Just a little bit. Yes, that'll be fantastic.
Okay, so in that case, Lana, it is your go as Carlos has exploded in front of you, and a very strange-looking creature is coming towards you as well. What are you doing?
Do I know what that is?
I think you all.
I mean, I've already
attacked
it.
Yeah.
Or tried to. Okay, so I'll go, I'll head over there to the blob thing. And then I'll manifest Echo again on the other side behind it.
Yeah.
And then I'll hit with my sword.
Second sword.
But with advantage again.
Really bad guys with swords.
Swords. That's exactly who I was thinking of.
Dirty 20.
Yes.
Yeah. So roll for damage.
9 damage.
Okay.
Lovely.
And then I'm gonna use my third attack for the Echo, which is a natural 19.
Yep, that hits.
Annoyingly, if I'd got if I'd been able to transfer Hexblade's Curse, then that would have been a crit. Oh well. 14 damage.
14.
And then it's my second attack. Not good. Okay. Natural 19 again.
Yeah, that hits.
Again.
11 damage.
Yeah.
And then I'll save my fourth thing maybe for later for an emergency.
Okay. So, is that everything you're doing with your turn?
Yes.
Okay. So, as your strike lands true, can everyone make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh, come on, Dave. You need to do this.
That
As
is
it-
like the 5th 7 I've rolled.
I'm going to spend a luck point to re-roll that.
You're lucky too.
Yeah.
Yay!
And I
Luck buddies.
basically totally forgot until like halfway through, and I was like, oh, I could have used it earlier.
I'm just really glad that I was able to use luck in my memories, therefore didn't use any luck points in the main narrative.
Yeah.
And then also, it's taken us days to get here, so I've got all my luck points.
So, what did
Mine is
everyone roll?
8.
8?
Still
9.
rolled really badly.
Ugh.
I got a 12.
Okay.
How many luck points do we get? Just 3?
3, but you can't. Can you use luck again?
It's fine. I don't want to use it again anyway. I got 12. No way.
I somehow got 21.
Okay,
I got
so
12.
everyone with the exception of
Oh no,
Ognan.
sorry. 13.
13.
Oh, but
Everyone,
it makes a difference.
everyone with the exception of Ognan and Paige, you take 6 points of psychic damage.
Oh.
That's good, because that would have killed me.
So as the place begins to shake and the ground begins to crumble even more, and you get a sense of what is beneath the ice. It is unfathomable. It is huge, it is gargantuan, and it is shifting. And as a psychic pulse flies out, you all feel a scraping in your skull. Ognan, it is your turn.
Okay. How far away from Paige am I?
You are around 40 feet.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, you're the other one, so 30 feet.
Okay. Can I run at Paige?
You can. There you go.
I'm gonna punch her.
Okay, roll to attack at advantage because she's flanked.
I'm so squishy.
But also powerful. Oh no.
60.
Have you Oh no, not you. Never mind. 16, that hits. Roll for damage.
That's another 1, so 5 points.
So, as your fist lands against this creature, it seems to sort of go into it, and it seems to reach up around your forearm, and then almost as quickly it scuttles back, and suddenly as this form begins to go in on itself, out of itself, fold over and through, suddenly you are met with Paige lying on the floor again. Paige, you are you. again, if only momentarily, but you are lying on the ground and you can see the true you in the center slowly folding up into the ceiling. You have yourself again, but momentarily.
Okay. Should I do this? Does that count as me having hit Paige?
Yes, I would say so.
Stunning strike.
Okay.
Constitution saving throw, please, Jess.
Okie dokie. Back to the old stat block. That is. Hold on. Come on, D&D Beyond. 16?
Damn it! Okay, she's not stunned. Okay, I'll leave that then, and then I'll run at the tentacles.
Okay. You can make no head or tail of what they are, but you can run towards the crack.
Okay, so how much movement have I used then?
You've used 40.
Okay, so I'm gonna punch the tentacles then.
Okay.
And see if it does anything.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
That's an 18.
That definitely hits. Roll for damage.
That's a 6, so that's 10 slashes.
Okay, as you run forward and you just swipe and scrape and claw, you can see that there is something happening, but it doesn't appear to be stopping this creature. It is just moving up and up. It doesn't seem to be tangible, real, whatever it is. You are not doing anything to it.
Okay, that changes things. Okay. Can I spend... If I'm not doing any damage, there's no point me doing Flurry of Blows. So, I am going to spend my final key point to do Step of the Wind.
Okay. Which
means that... Let me find it, because I can't always remember what it does.
As soon as Ogden has taken the turn, I think I would like Garrett to make a telepathic communication to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, so it means that I can use disengage.
Sure. Where are you disengaging to?
Well, I've only got 5 more feet of movement.
So just back there?
So diagonally towards the sled, if I can.
There?
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay.
Thank you. I am out of key. This is not good.
So, Billy, you say telepathically? Are you telepathically, or are you shouting stuff in?
Gaia is telepathic, and any creature that can understand at least one language I can communicate with.
Okay.
So I will, first of all, communicate again with Ognan. Just for reference sake for people listening, I did say to Ognan that I am on your side. We need to stop these things. And... I think Gaia would then reach out towards Lana and say,
"The sword is the key. We need to seal this room. Whatever's beneath the ice is something beyond what we can face now."
And I think Gaia will send the same message to Ognan as well.
Okay. Do any of you...
Take that, Andy.
Oh, sorry. I did say everyone. I did say everybody.
Yes, I know.
Oh, God, thank you. Thanks for reminding me, Jess.
So, can people respond to you?
Whose side am I on? I don't know.
Yes, directly to Gaia, but not to each other, because I don't make a bridge. I just sort of talk to them.
Okay. So, is anyone saying anything in response?
Think of it as Chinese whispers.
I'm sending a non-verbal confirmation feeling. The idea of an affirmative, yeah.
I catch Gaia's eye and nod.
Okay.
Cool.
So, it is Paige's turn. So Paige, what are you doing?
How am I feeling? Am I like...
You are feeling very disoriented. It is almost like stepping in and out of a dream state. It is very strange, but you are who you have been for the last 200 years as you lie on the ice.
Okay, interesting. And am I technically prone as well?
Not so much. You're sort of half and half. So I'll say you're standing.
I'm sort of starting to sort of
Yeah.
like slightly over.
Yeah.
It's kind of like... What a day, huh? What a day.
The echo shrugs and goes, yeah.
Yeah. Guys, I think Paige is very disorientated. So I think she will just want everything to stop so she can get her head in order.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to cast a command at a 2nd level
Okay.
and use the halt command on the 2 people closest to me, which I think are Lana and is it Riambi under me? Or is it?
Vector.
So that's an echo. So
Echo,
it's
sorry.
Ognan and Lana.
I would like to use it on both of them.
Okay.
And I'll be a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
Sorry.
19.
Okay, Ognan passes, so Ognan does nothing. You basically can't move or take any actions your next turn.
oh,
You only have to turn though, so
there goes my plan.
So, is that everything you're doing, Paige, as you instinctively reach out? Anything else?
Do I still have a connection to the me in the ice?
Make a wisdom check for me.
I can indeed do. Let me just go back to my fun old stats. It's just a straight wisdom roll.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I mean that's a 13. That's not anything to sniff at.
As it stands, you can hear nothing. You feel no pull at the moment.
No sort of towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I won't say anything or do anything else.
Okay.
I'm just very disorientated at the moment.
Okay, so Rianvi, what are you doing?
So is Paige back to normal? Or...
Paige is back to her normal self, yes.
Okay. And there are tentacles around everywhere.
Yeah,
but-
just slowly spreading up and up, but it's hard to comprehend what they are, where they are. You just can see blackness writhing like a tree in the center.
I will say, I don't know what to do, hoping that my patron buddy will say something back.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Ed, can I just check something?
Yes.
You know the tentacles. Did it not take damage because it's immune to slashing?
It appears that, so basically the one that gripped you and that Gaia got rid of, it seemed when it was making a connection and it was something solid and it was individual, whereas what you were, it was essentially like slashing at hundreds and hundreds of thriving things. So you were basically hitting shadow, essentially.
Okay.
It's like
just I just wanted to make sure because of key empowered strikes, my fists are magic. So if they do magic damage, then I was just checking to see if they did do damage or not.
They did, but minuscule.
Got it. Okay.
Absolutely minuscule. Yeah. So, what did you roll?
12.
12. You feel hands on your shoulder and a whisper in your ear. You have brought me here. That is all you can do. I would listen to your friends. I can help from here.
So what can I attack? Can I kind of wildly attack at the?
You can definitely give it a go. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's Okay. I don't know whether or not this is going to do anything, and I might be totally wasting it.
Okay.
I would like to point. So I'd like to move back and to the left slightly.
There.
A little bit more central.
There.
A little bit more to the right. Yes. And I will. Well, I've got 2 spell slots and I haven't used one of them, so let's go for Fireball.
Okay.
And I'll aim it, like, basically, kind of, I guess, are they extending upwards?
They are just up and up. It's like a trunk in front of you.
Okay, well, that's safe, because that won't hit anyone else. So I will just, like, shoot towards that direction.
Okay, roll to attack.
Okay. So, it's a dex saving throw.
Oh, okay.
It's a huge thing.
Rolling so poorly. That's a 3.
Excellent. So, that will be 8d6.
8d6?
Oh.
Brilliant.
Wow. Me too.
22. You let loose this barrel of flame into the center of it, and you see it subsumed into the center for a moment. And then all of you watch as there is this from the inside as it slowly arcs out. It's like it's ballooning. It's like an explosion underwater as it just moves out, and there is this ear-piercing scream. Can everyone make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Okay, using another luck point again.
That is wisdom 17.
17, okay.
20.
Yeah, I used luck as well, and I got a natural 20.
Okay, you are all absolutely fine as screams scratch around the inside of your mind as this creature, whatever it is, convulses and moves. It is still growing up, and it still appears like it is moving and moving, but whatever you did, Rianvi, it hurt. So, are you doing anything else at all?
I'll probably move back against the wall.
Okay. Lovely. Anything else at all?
Because Paige is back to normal now, does that mean my hex is gone?
It's still there because it's technically still her, but you can. Yeah.
Can I use my bonus action to move it to the creature, or cast it on the creature instead?
Yeah, sure thing. So, anything else at all? Or is that everything?
That's it.
Okay, lovely. So, Gaia, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Okay. Which way should I go? I'm deciding. Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking. Sorry, I'm responding verbally to Michael, who's just because
telepathic communication going on.
It's telepathic communication. We has a plan.
I like this development. It means that we can do stuff without Ed knowing about it.
Yes, I thought this might be a very good thing to have. Okay, so you're by the entrance, aren't you, Ognan?
Yes.
I think Gaia would like to move. Does a dash cancel out an action?
Yeah, so a dash
to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will move as close as I can to Rhianvi, please.
Okay.
I will then hold as close to the wall as I possibly can, as in, stand back. I will hold an attack action until Ognan has taken an action.
Okay, what specifically are you waiting for?
I am waiting for Ognan to throw. I'm gonna tell him now.
Yeah, I know, but it's cool, so it's fine. I'm not gonna throw it, but
I am waiting for Ognan to push the barrels.
Okay, sure thing. Are
Just
you
a quick question. Yes, meant telepathically. How many barrels are there?
There are 6 in total.
Okay, I will hold an action. I'll hold an action until that happens, please.
Are you communicating this with anyone else?
I tell Rhianvi. I don't know what to throw.
Rhianvi, you must stay here. For your own good, you must stay away from the tendrils.
I also communicate to Lana.
If possible, move away from the center of the room.
So
And that is what I will say.
So, Lana, what do you say anything back?
I don't know if I can I?
Yeah, you can respond to me directly.
No, I mean, can I? Because I can't do anything.
It said, I mean, basically, let me go to the spell action page.
Is stop to do what you're immediately doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it says the target doesn't move and takes no actions.
It's talking.
Talking's a free action. So,
but it's still an action of a kind, so I don't.
I would argue telepathically, you're probably in the clear, I think.
Yeah, because otherwise that'd be really OP.
Ed is a benevolent DM.
What's the flavour of what you've done? Is it like a paralysis type thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a straight sort of command. I guess you probably just can't move. Sure. So you can still think, so that would make sense.
Yeah, I think it's just you're compelled to stop.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah. So I'm reading that as I can physically speak, but I can telepathically speak then.
You can telepathically speak.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll send one of those affirmative feelings back.
No, it's like we're talking, but just telepathically, so you don't.
Yeah,
It's not
just, I'm just sending you a feeling.
She's like,
Catherine's making a character choice.
As this is happening,
It's like this.
It's a mental like.
Yeah.
as it is happening, one of the tentacles whips out once more at you, Gaia, and it misses entirely, scraping as you and Rhianvi both just duck down as it carves against the side. It is all filling the space now. It is becoming much larger. Top of the round, Ognan, what are you doing?
I'm going to run behind the sled. I'm going to push a barrel.
Okay, make a strength check for me, please.
Okay. That's balls. I'm going to use my last luck point.
Okay.
Well, that's the same thing. 9.
9. You push, and one of them just and slowly starts rolling towards the hole in the center. The ground is slowly beginning to slope down, and as it starts to roll, it begins to pick up speed, going down, down, down towards the blackness. So Gaia, are you unleashing your held action?
I am unleashing Firebolt at the rolling barrel.
Okay, make an attack roll for me, please.
How
Just
much?
for flavor, not that it'll actually do anything, but once I've rolled the barrel, I just tuck down behind the other ones.
And the other 5.
Although they'll probably explode.
Depends the radius of the blow, which is why we'll just. I'm rolling a dice. We'll see. Okay. So, how much AC does a barrel have? Okay. Well, let's just go and see.
I mean, it can't really dodge stuff.
It is. I rolled a 7.
So, you let loose this firebolt, and you all watch as this orangey glow fills the space. The barrel.
Oh, sorry, that's 14. 14, sorry.
14.
That's better.
The barrel rolls down into the darkness, away from sight. And the firebolt goes into the darkness. There is a moment's pause. There is an impossible echo throughout, and it hurts your very eardrums. It's as though they are about to burst as you see this creature going out in every direction. It is sinking down, sinking. It is not gone, but it is sinking down beneath the ground, and it goes down, 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 bits of it falling off down onto the floor around you. It is slowly sinking deep into the ground. So, Paige, what are you doing?
Could I just, at the end of my turn, can I just yell to Lana and say, Lana, we need you to push another barrel.
Okay. And Paige, what are you doing?
Do you mean Gaia? Because Lana's not really in a good barrel. She's paralysed.
She's
Do
a
I not get it back
fighter.
at my next go?
Yeah, she gets it back
Yeah,
after
your
the end of
next
your turn. She's a fighter. I'm assuming her strength is pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
true.
probably better than mine, to be honest.
Yeah, I've forgotten a whole turn had gone by.
Yeah.
Those 6 seconds
Yeah.
go by past her. This is such a... Okay. So, I'm going to talk to Lana, even though she currently can't speak to me. I am going to say, I am here, but I am also in the ice, and I think I am also in that sword. I don't know whether to jump in there and rejoin myself, or commune with you all, or light this whole place on fire, but I know that as long as you have that sword, we will always exist. You can't separate one from the whole. I look at the sword. For for 6 seconds, I guess. Because
You glance at the sword.
Yes, I glance at the sword. It's not that meaningful over 6 seconds, really. And I go, I think I say, I'm sorry, and I think I will try and take the sword.
Okay.
But I don't know how mechanically that would work.
I'd say make a contested strength check. And
Would I get advantage because she's frozen?
I was
You
about
don't have to say yes.
Do I
about
still
to-
stay frozen? When does the frozen stop? Does it stop on my go, or did it stop
At the end
after
of her
my
turn. At the end of.
my turn.
At the end of.
So I would
near the
say.
page's turn?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say if you make a contested strength check with yourself at disadvantage, Catherine,
Okay.
because she's still halted, isn't she, Jess?
Yeah, basically,
that's what I was
she
wondering.
only gets one round of being frozen. That was last
One round from when? From your turn.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
at the end of her turn is when you come back to normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a natural 20. And that was a 2. So 5.
I'll do it. So I'm just double checking the. I mean, my strength's +0, so. Let me go to my. Oh no, that's all my characters. Technology.
Yeah. Why you no work?
Strength. Okay, mine was a 6. What was yours again?
Oh, it's higher.
So you reach forward, and there is a tug before you just pass it through her fingers. You are holding the sword. Jess, what are you doing?
I mean, I think that would count as my main action, isn't it? So I don't really feel like I can do anything major.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like to go closer to the pit.
Okay.
So I'm just sort of holding it,
Okay.
and I'm not doing anything else for now.
Okay. Rhianvi, your turn. What are you doing?
So the creature's still there.
It is shrinking down into the abyss below.
Okay. I will. I'll cast Scorching Ray.
Okay.
Let's.
Okay.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to make a ranged attack for each ray, and there are 4 rays.
Okay, so roll to attack.
So that is a 23.
23, that hits.
And that is so that is 6 fire damage plus 2 necrotic damage.
Okay.
Second attack is a 24.
Mm-hmm.
That is 6 fire damage and 6 necrotic damage. Again 24.
Okay.
So that is 8 fire damage, 4 necrotic damage, and that's a 22.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 2 fire damage and 3 necrotic damage.
Okay, so as Rhianvi there's just ray after ray after ray that goes down, down, down into this deep, dark abyss. And as you let them loose, Rhianvi, you hear the voice once more. You have served me well. I brought you face to face with horror, and you have looked it in the eye. You have been a worthy vessel. But let me handle this from here. And when you step into Avernus, remember me fondly. And you feel something rip from your inside, and you all watch as this red, horned figure fills the room and dives down deep into the abyss, and you hear roaring and struggling and screaming and screeching. There is a struggle happening beneath the ice as you all stand there. Are you doing anything else on your turn, Rhianvi?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so Gaia, your turn.
I will move even closer to the entrance.
Okay.
And I will Ognan, you're first. So Gaia will hold the action until Ognan, I believe. Yeah, Ognan effectively rolls another barrel, please.
Okay, sure thing.
Me specifically?
Oh, sorry. No. Until Lana, because Lana is directly after me.
Yes.
So I'll hold an action until Lana Can it be anyone rolls a barrel, or is it specifically someone?
You can until a barrel is rolling.
Until a barrel is rolling, please.
Okay, so you run to the entrance and you hold. Lana, it is your go as your echo stands before you and Paige stands by the hole holding your sword.
Okay. Sorry, Billy, I'm not going to do the barrel thing. I mean, I might do if I still have action. I can do stuff now, right?
Yep. You've got your actions and your turn back.
So I'm with the Echo, who's yellow, correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to walk with the Echo, so we're both standing behind Paige. And then I'm going to push her into the hole.
Make an attack roll.
With advantage because she's flanked.
Yeah.
Before my AC is not high.
Is it attack with what? Because I've not got my sword, so what do I add to this?
So with strength, and strength alone, I think.
Or athletics?
I'll allow that. Athletics if you like.
He's being very kind today.
Well, there's a poetics thing going on here. I don't want to get in the way of it. Yes, you're able to push her.
I think that makes sense though, rather than straight strength, because it's a full shove, isn't it?
Yeah. You could do like a little flourish on the end.
You get a kick instead. Is that more?
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say yes.
If you need more flair, it doesn't work mechanically, but we could say that the Echo does it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
That said, do I still have the Echo? I don't know if I do.
You do.
Okay.
Can you kick her in and shout, "This is Sparta"?
So as you stand there and the others stand around the outside, Lana, you walk towards the center very calmly, your Echo walking beside you. And as the ground beneath you, underneath the ice, blisters in black and red and orange, and Paige stands silhouetted in front of you, holding the sword that has been with you for so long and has haunted you. You push.
No, I kick.
You kick. And Paige, you fall down into the abyss. Are you doing anything else on your turn, Lana?
I will move away from the hole and take out my crossbow because I don't have any weapons.
Okay. Where are you headed specifically?
Probably back towards, just safely towards the entrance, but not actually. And I'm not running away, I'd just like to be clear.
I'm a fighter, I'm not running away.
Let's just be clear. I am striding purposefully in a direction. Not away, just in a direction.
So, top of the round, as the cylindrical room around you starts to crack around the edges, and you can see bits of the roof now begin to fall down onto the ground. Ognan, it's your turn. What are you doing?
As free action, as Lana walks past, I go, "That'll do instead." And then I'll say, "Rianvi, out!" And I'll push another barrel.
Okay, make a strength check for me, please.
I have no luck left, so this could go poorly. Oh, 18.
18. You push one and two more go with it, rolling and rolling and rolling towards. Billy, if you can make an attack roll, please.
Do I have to do one for each? Because I get 2 fireballs.
We'll say just what they're sort of clumped together, so however you want to do it.
If they're clumped together, yes, I'll just do...
I mean, the moment one explodes, the other will go.
One will go as well. Might as well do for both. I will still make the 2 attacks in case one misses. First one. Oh, that's an 18, so that'll be 25.
So the moment Ognan pushes, once again you wait until it falls over the edge, following Paige down, and there is and bits of ice fly up from beneath you. The floor itself is shooting upwards, and you can hear screams and cries. And Rhianvi, you can hear the cries and the shouts of your patron down below as well. It is cacophony, and the psychic energy in this room is twisting your very minds. It is horrific. Are you doing anything else, Ognan?
What is it? Is the tentacle thing still there?
It's now being driven deep beneath it. Whatever it is seems to be going down, and whatever is happening in terms of explosions, it is not only bringing this place down around it, but it is hurting the creature significantly.
But it's still alive.
You can hear sounds below, absolutely.
I think telepathically, Gaia.
Oh, what? I've lost control of my character.
Gaia.
I knew you would betray me.
Curse your inevitable, but something betrayal. I can't remember the saying.
Wrong way around. Sudden but inevitable.
Sudden but inevitable betrayal. Or everyone's going to go haywire on the internet now. Gaia will send out a message to say,
Everybody out. I can make the escape, but I need all of you out now.
Okay, I will run my full movement, and I want to be clear, I am running away.
Ognan,
So that's 45 feet of movement.
Ognan, you run out, and you can see that the snow and the blizzard outside still remain, the moon hanging in the sky, and you can see, stood a short way off, Harry, just standing there, and she nods. Is it done?
Not yet. And can we say for flavour that because I'm so bloodied, my nose is broken again?
Of course.
For the third time.
Chunks of ice have broken it. Yep, absolutely. So, Paige, as you fall deep into the chasm, and you see yourself wrestling with a strange red creature, sword in your hand as you fall down, are you doing anything as you fall into the abyss?
How does the dagger feel?
sword.
It is...
Sword feel, sorry.
What dagger? There's a dagger!
How does the knife feel? How does the pointy thing feel?
The parry knife.
More synonyms for sword.
The subtle knife?
Sword.
The
Oh
sword-
no.
the
Hey, I
sword-
would be well up for a combat material.
I mean, this is basically it. Come on.
The sword that severed you from yourself feels heavy in your hand. It hurt you last time, and it can hurt you again. But it is in your hands now. What are you doing? As you fall, very Gandalf style, down into the abyss below.
Am I falling onto myself?
You'll be falling into yourself.
I'll be falling into myself. I would like to stab myself with the sword.
Make an attack roll.
I don't resist.
Yeah. I'm doing great, yeah, I'm just like, what?
Oh, as in literally yourself, or the you that is below? This has all become very metaphysical.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm going to go for the me that's below, I think.
Okay, sure. Then make an attack roll for me, please.
That's a straight 16. I don't know if I'd add anything.
Yeah, no, that hits.
Yeah.
And as you fall down, you reach the sword forward, plunging headfirst into the middle of this battle that stretches everywhere throughout reality and in this space. And you are subsumed by ink and fire and shadow and rage. Rhianvi, what are you doing?
I would like to run towards the exit.
Okay. There you go. You run all the way out, and you can see Ognan there, Harry a little way off. Are you doing anything else as you exit?
Just before I leave, I will pause and look over my shoulder, just towards where my patron was, and say nothing.
Okay. After a pause, just in front of Gaia, Lana, and her shadow, you run off into the distance. Gaia, what are you doing?
I look over at the sled. I take it on there. Obviously there are barrels, but I take it there'll be
Three left.
3 barrels. Do the barrels have like a fuse, and does it have like a satchel where they'll keep the flint and whatnot?
Yes, each of them have individual fuses. There is no flint to speak of. You suspect that probably left with the researchers, but I mean, being an adventurer, you would probably have something that could light fires in your house.
Yes. I would like to search for such an item.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'd say.
And light them individually. How long do I have, just to be...
I will say you have... Let's say you have 6 seconds.
Okay. I will go over.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Lana's still there. I will wait to light them. Oh no, can I light them beforehand? Because that's a single round.
You can light them, and then next round they will go off.
On my turn or before my turn?
End of your turn.
End of my turn next round.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I will shout to Lana, because telepathically, there's no point to do it telepathically now. And I think Gaia would say,
light the fuses, and I'll bring this whole place down.
and I will hold an action until Lana has lit the fuses, to which I will take an action.
Okay. What is your action going to be?
I will use Misty Step to exit the place once I know that they are lit.
Okay. So, Lana, your turn.
So my Echo's gonna walk down the corridor and leave. But like not too far, just to safety.
Okay.
It can't go further than 30 feet of me, so it needs to stay within that.
Okay.
And then I'll go and light the fuses.
Okay, sure thing. And as soon as she does so, Gaia, are you Misty stepping?
Hang on, I've got a thing I want to
sorry.
Can I turn to Gaia and say, good luck, and then teleport to my Echo?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Just for cool points. And I wanted to do it at some point.
I'd forgotten about that ability, and it's very, very cool.
I can't remember if they teleport or swap, because if they swap, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, take that.
Why don't you can
Yeah, you swap places. Swap places, so my Echo will appear.
It's just Echo just strolling down the corridor.
Yeah.
So, as Lana says this to you, Gaia, suddenly she is a shadow in front of you, looking blankly like a mannequin with no features, just watching you.
I reach out telepathically before I do anything else to what remained of Paige, and just sort of telepathically say,
Goodbye.
and then I Misty Step. As far as because I can see the exit, so I Misty Step the heck out of there.
Okay. As you say this message, Paige, do you say anything back at all?
I mean, actually, I have telepathy as well that I never use. But I think I can reply anyway.
Well, you can reply anyway. Yeah.
All these abilities I never used. It's so sad. I think I will say as myself, I am truly sorry, Gaia. I wish we could have all communed together.
Gaia, you out. And as you run, and all of you run away from this pillar of ice atop the mountain, running for cover behind this large ship that rests atop the mountain, there is a moment's silence before the ice explodes outwards, a cacophony of fire and ice and snow, and black ice flies into the air, and a pillar of black ice collapses all across the peak. And then there is only silence, and the sound of the birds, and screams ring out throughout the region, howls, cries, barks, and squawks. They are all of them in pain. And then, truly, there is nothing.
Does my echo take the 1 point of damage required to destroy it?
Yes.
No!
Steps out.
It's like the battle droid at the end of episode 1, where the fire just envelopes it.
I just love that now he sounds like Pluto. Oh boy!
So, as ice rains down all around you, what are you all doing?
Running. Is Harry next to me?
Harry is crouched behind with all of you.
Okay, I just turn to her and I say, I told you to run.
I've always been stubborn.
I'm glad you didn't.
Me too. I couldn't do it again.
Ow.
Midnight's approaching. We should find cover. Lead the way.
Then let's take the others back. And try and find a cave or some cover.
Yeah.
So, for expediency's sake, you make your way down the mountain, one member short. You find your way back to the cave where you left the dogs. They are no longer there. Perhaps they ran off into the wilds. Who knows? But you continue on, past the observatory, and back to Caer Koenig.
When we, just for flavour, when we have our first rest, and presumably after that as well, I'm going to kind of continue looking around me to see if the sword is there.
You look, and much like the shadow that has followed you all of these months, it does not reappear. For the first time, you have thrown it away, and it has not come back.
I was going to say that I will look over to Lana, and I think Gaia will say,
That sword of yours has much of a history that ties you and I together. In fact, I know that sword well.
continue to walk.
Can I catch Gaia at some point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, on your journey back.
I misjudged you. And I'm sorry for that.
It is a strange thing, trust. but stranger still is memory.
I hope your memories of me will be good ones.
So far they are, old master.
And as you all walk down the mountain, for the first time, Rhianvi, you feel no weight upon your shoulders. It is 50 years later. The sun shines over Angstrom Peak. The cry of a peregrine falcon can be heard echoing all around. Atop the mountain there is ice and snow and the strange alien remains of an airship from another world. And through this walk a team of researchers. They have heard the stories, all have heard the stories of the doomed Elmblut expedition all those years ago, and how they were claimed in the midst of the Frost Maiden's rime, disappearing in the unending night. But for these researchers, curiosity has got the better of them. They have chased the rumours, the story of Esther's folly, the Vidlanya family name brought to an end, the old Usuri who still yet wanders the waste, so they say. The girl with the devil ripped from her, even now seeking a means to prevent her immortal soul being trapped in hell. The one they call the automaton, and the monster who walked among us. As they forage through the snow, one of the researchers cries out. They have found something. Bringing out shovels and pickaxes, they carve deep into the snow, and they see a hand that is covered in white fur and spots. They ask the individual how they got there. They ask for how long, and then they ask one final question of the tabaxi who lies before them. Tell us, what is your name?
I think my name is Paige.
Paige. It is good to find you. And he reaches out a hand.
I take it.
And that is where we will end our campaign. Thank you very much, all of you, for bearing with a particularly long round of combat. I think our longest one we've ever had. But well done, everyone. And thank you all for watching and for hanging with us this long as well, especially if you've been watching for all 3 sessions. It's meant the world. We will be back soon with a brand new season in a mere few weeks. In the meantime, it's very late. I'm sure we're all very tired and likely have work in the morning. So from all of us here, I'm sure I'm not alone in wishing you all well, stay safe, goodbye, and we love you all so very much. But in the meantime, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.